Silent assassin, where I'm found. Put it down on the map, nigga. Represent. Y'all niggas know where I'm at. From the 340 to the 954. Every day, all day. I'm running when y'all ready. Where I'm found, where I'm at. Put it down like on the map, nigga. Check this out. Like this. Check it out. Now tell the president that I don't take no orders. Tell him meet me at the border of Florida and Georgia. Nigga never hesitate to represent. What I said is what I meant. Like merciless, I'm heaven sent. Meet me at my residence. From the east to the west, my beat's the best. Unleash the beast, the streets is wet. Bloody mess, nevertheless contest the best. Get laid on the rest. Never been overrated. Y'all just hate it, y'all can't fade it. And you hoping I don't make it. You must be smoking, I'ma take it. Take my spot on top hip hop. Stop the clock when this set drop. Every nigga on every block on flocking, rocking, give me props. Where I'm found, where I'm at. Give me a pound, give me some dap. Born to rap and I learn to rap. I just sit back and watch these cats. Gotta take over, I stay sober. Run niggas over like a bulldozer. Looking like they got pulled over. Ain't my fault, I thought I told you. Now you know it's going down. Wherever I'm at, that's my town. Standing with both feet on the ground. You know where I'm at and where I'm found. Where I'm at, put it down on the map. Give me love, I'ma give it back. Niggas gon' love this track. Where I'm found, where I'm at, put it down on the map. Give me love, I'ma give it back. Niggas gon' love this track. Now I'm back for the suckers, haters and busters. Brush you to dust, you know I don't love it. Take cover, make mother shed tears for fake. Brother, the summer, the winter, the sun and the rain. I get respect with no gun in my hand. Bringing the noise like a drum in a band. Don't play with these boys, I'm the man. For myself, I represent. Made my mark like wet cement. Made a dent everywhere I went. All of this is common sense. Breathing better, needing sweaters in cold, freezing weather. All my foes gon' bleed together. Think they can beat me, see me never. Know where I be and where I stay. Where I sleep and where I lay. Don't give me tomorrow, give me today. Be true to what you say. Come and get me, don't upset me. Why on earth do niggas test me? All that talking don't impress me. Kept on walking where you met me. Many reasons for my stress, but I ain't leaving here just yet. Not competing with the rest. I'm just believing that I'm the best. Taking a stand, shaking the land. Must be mistaken, ain't shaking my hand. I do what I want, you do what you can. Everything is going as planned. Up north, where you at? Put it down on the map. Down south, where you at? Put it down on the map. East coast, where you at? Put it down on the map. West coast, where you at? Put it down on the map.
Do you really believe that garbage?
It's not about believing, it's a matter of fact.
So you believe
the people over here who run this nation support injustices over there. You probably don't even know what happened in the 1940s.
In any country, prison is where society sends its failures. But in this country, society itself is failing.
I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
We won the evangelicals. We won with young. We won with old. We won with highly educated. We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
Look at you crazy.
Grab him by the pussy.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Let's go to war. Let's go to war.
We are not at war with Muslims.
Let's go to war.
We don't have a beef with Muslims.
Let's go to war.
We want to be friends with Muslims.
Let's go to war.
And Muslim children.
Let's go to war.
We fighting evil people. It's important for the boys and girls of Thurgood Marshall to know.
Let's go to war.
That we're fighting evil.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
Lydia Gondak. It says that I wanted to eat her pussy, Lydia Gondak. I've never said that in my life to her. I would never do that. I'm happily married. I've got more than enough to eat at home. Thank you very much.
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Okay. I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible. I went to an Ivy League school. I'm very highly educated. I know words. I have the best words. We now have a gun on every table. We're ready to start shooting.
By the way, maybe you could inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it. This is the same man.
Sarcastically.
That was...
Even though they're trying to impeach the son of a bitch. Can you believe that? You believe that? That's enough. Put down the mic.
President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
It's a human under attack.
I don't want reality. I'm asking the question, which one is better? That's exactly what it is.
Got it on tape.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Step into the tense arena of politics with TFP, where raw honesty meets critical analysis. The world's most dangerous political panel, featuring the voices of the radical Republican, MD-20, the political prophet amongst men, Ricardo, the uppity independent king of popcorn, who's waiting and watching in the political theater, Mike, the Fatalists, who is always Mike is right from the Others Gang, and Venkat, the Progressive Producer Extraordinaire, dives deep into controversial topics that shape our global stage.
With sharp insights and unfiltered discussions,
they explore the complex narratives of past and present political dilemmas that affect us all.
They're eating the dogs.
Each episode acts as a magnifying glass, scrutinizing the layers of misinformation and propaganda that permeate our world. The panel's dynamic interplay ignites debates that challenge viewers to confront uncomfortable truths about governance, power, and societal responsibility.
Engage with thought-provoking content that not only informs, but inspires action.
TFP is not just a series. It is a call to awareness, urging audiences to participate in the political discourse and foster change in their communities.
Now get ready to witness the strength of tape-fist politics.
How stupid are these politicians to allow this to happen?
Everything you saw on the news is sucker shit. It's sucker shit. Nation, make sure that people like us are always struggling and in fucked up situations. We're gonna beat these people. I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but it's been a hard fight. These people hate our children.
Will soon be over. Tonight, with a toast and a twirl, Donald Trump closing out Inauguration Day and starting his second term as President of the United States. But amid the pomp and circumstance, President Trump wasting no time.
Sir, this is a proclamation declaring a national emergency at the southern border of the United States.
That's a big one. A lot of big ones, huh?
In a rare display of presidential power, Donald Trump taking questions from reporters and signing a flurry of executive orders, many aimed at the southern border and the January 6 defendants, issuing over 1,000 pardons to those charged in the attack on the Capitol, including some convicted of violent offenses and others with seditious conspiracy. All of this capping off an historic day, filled with moments that we didn't see 4 years ago, the presidential passing of the baton. This morning, President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden welcoming Donald and Melania Trump back to the White House.
Donald Trump, just 2 weeks after January 6th itself, chose not to stick around for Joe Biden's inauguration. He was the first president in the modern era to not participate in the peaceful transition of power.
The main event of the day taking place inside the Capitol Rotunda because of the bitter cold. In the second row, some of the richest men in the world, including Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Alphabet's Sundar Pichai, and Tesla's Elon Musk. All former presidents and first ladies were also in attendance today, except for Michelle Obama.
She felt that his searing rhetoric against Barack Obama threatened her family and the safety of her children, and couldn't bring herself to come.
Chants of USA as Donald Trump took the podium. J.D. Vance was sworn in first with his wife and kids by his side.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
And then it was the president's turn.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
In his first speech as the 47th president, the theme was clear. America's decline is over.
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
With Joe Biden just feet away, Donald Trump criticized the outgoing president and promised to roll back a number of his administration's accomplishments.
We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
He made clear that he was trying to separate himself and even do a 180 from the Biden years. He put the blame for inflation, the blame for national and international affairs squarely at the feet of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It was awkward, to say the least.
Getting a standing ovation from Republicans when he mentioned his plans for the southern border.
All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy.
The president ending on a more unified, hopeful tone.
From New York to Los Angeles, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C., our country was forged and built by the generations of patriots who gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom.
I think you already sense a lowering of the temperature in Washington. Doesn't mean that everything's going to be hunky-dory and people are going to be singing Kumbaya. That's not going to happen. But I think that the fight to the death is over.
America. Country star Carrie Underwood closing out the ceremony with America the Beautiful.
From sea to shining sea.
When Trump went from the rotunda and the solemnity and his speech delivered really in rather even tone for Trump, then he walks into Emancipation Hall and it's a rally, it's a Trump rally, and he's going after his political enemies and he's trashing people, he's having sort of tossing the red meat.
Why are we helping Liz Cheney? I mean, Liz Cheney is a disaster. She's a crying lunatic and crying Adam Kinzinger. He's a super crying. I never saw the guy not crying. He's always crying.
That overflow room included YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul, podcaster Theo Vaughn, and UFC champion Conor McGregor.
So I decided I'm not going to make this speech complicated. I'm going to make it beautiful. I'm going to make it a unifying speech. And then when they said we have a group of people that are serious Trump fans, I said, this is the time to tell those stories.
As Biden departed Joint Base Andrews, he had one final message.
We've always done our best as Americans. We never, never, never give up. Never. We're leaving office, We're not leaving the fight.
One of his final acts, preemptive pardons for officials who may face reprisals from the Trump administration, including Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired General Mark Milley, Liz Cheney, and some of his own family members. There was no traditional parade, but in the evening, the president rallied thousands of supporters at the Capital One Arena. Some of the executive orders President Trump signed inside the stadium with supporters looking on.
The first item that President Trump is signing is the rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions.
Beyond the border, the president taking aim at diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and pardoning a number of Americans connected to the January 6th attack on the Capitol. He pardoned or commuted the sentences of around 1,500 individuals, including Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio, who was sentenced to 22 years in prison, and Oath Keepers leader Stuart Rhodes, who was serving 18 years. The incoming administration said 2 other offenders are walking free late tonight.
I think most people assume that nonviolent offenders, people that had some kind of a misdemeanor offense, they would have their cases thrown out. But the idea that he's essentially freeing people that committed violent actions, that went further than I think a lot of people recognized, reversing their sentences as part of an effort essentially to rewrite the history of one of the worst days in American political history.
Throughout the day, a number of high-profile tech executives were front and center, including Elon Musk, who is part of the new administration.
There need to be things that make you glad to wake up in the morning and say, I'm looking forward to the future.
All of these kind of titans of tech industry that populated the audience, often just right next to friends and family of the Trumps.
Tonight, the president winding down his historic return to the White House, keeping his word on a number of promises he made for day one.
All right, here we go. We are back for another year of TFP, Tape Fist Politics. I am Venkat, and as always, I am joined with the world's most dangerous political panel. Today's episode 61, Trump version 2.0, Dictator on day one. And before we get into that, let's get into the panel. And with me on the panel right now is the MD20, the political prophet amongst men. What's going on, MD?
What's going on? What's happening? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
All
we're
right,
good.
cool. Yeah, I'm at home, so yeah.
Oh, you're actually at home?
Yeah, man. Hey, that's what I said. But hey, man, it's all good, man. Peace, everybody. We back.
That's right. And we should be joined shortly with Ricardo. But MD, so we just looked at the video of Donald Trump highlights of his inauguration, his second term. What were your thoughts on and your pretty much your feel on what's happening with Trump now?
Hey, you know what to play, man. Hey, hell in the handbasket. Hashtag hell in the handbasket. So hey, we officially.
Oh, go ahead, MD. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you good? Yeah. We officially rolling downhill now. So I hope that everybody got their hand baskets and and ain't just free assing it down the hill. You need your hand basket because we're going 100 miles per hour right now. The most.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
Yes, sir, and there it is. You know what I'm saying? And the most egregious thing that could happen did happen on day one, and that was the pardon of the J6.
You said it.
After that, it's a done deal. It's a done deal.
Indeed.
Just think about it, Venkat. You got a guy in Stuart Rhodes, the leader of the Oath Keepers, that admittedly, through prosecution and the findings that took place in that trial, willingly took instructions from inside the Trump administration to be prepared with weapons and so on and so forth, because he had thought, according to his inside man within the administration, that Trump was going to institute martial law. You know, that ain't me saying it. All that came out during the trial. And you mean to tell me a person like that can be pardoned for something so egregious and seditious?
That's scary.
And me, I go to jail with a couple of dime bags in my pocket. That's what you telling me right now.
Yep.
Hell in the handbasket, man. Hell in the handbasket.
Unbelievable set of circumstances we find ourselves in at the moment here with this second term. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely, I mean, it's bold-faced to do that, because a lot of people are saying this is an attempt to whitewash January 6th, make it be not such a big deal. And, you know, it was nothing. And meanwhile, over 5 people died. Hundreds were injured. I mean, it was not a good moment. It was not a love fest like Donald Trump said. So I don't know, that this history is not going to look good on this, because the consequences, I mean, I still think consequences are going to come, but it's just a fact that we are in this moment in time, and I don't know, it's almost damn embarrassing, really, that this is happening. We hand over the keys to the guy that tried to do an insurrection on the country when he lost. Then he made up the idea that he didn't lose and used his followers to physically try to take the presidency. That is outrageous, and why you would never think something like that would happen in the United States. And at the end of that story there, you have all those people pardoned, whether they did serious crimes or whether they did the smaller crime of like trespassing. So that is outrageous to the fullest. All right. So what else?
I'm sorry, my bad. I was on mute.
Oh.
And let me expound on that a little bit. We talk about you know, imbalance when it comes to justice and blah blah blah, this and that.
Right.
This is the opposite, but in a negative way. Because it now shows that certain parameters around I guess you would say, the partisanship of the trajectory of what we facing right now, which is autocracy. Let's just keep it real. And on a larger scale, it's almost a plutocracy on a larger scale. But for the people that champion and warrior this type of dumb shit, because that's what it is. Now it's the wild, wild west, because depending on, and this goes for both sides. I'm not saying that the Democrats are capable of doing anything like that. But again, we live in a world of precedent. It shows to the rest of the world that based on the parameters of the partisanship of whatever regime, you have certain abilities that other people that don't view that stance have. And it's blanketed. It's blanketed. Like you said, it don't matter if you just trespassed on the Capitol or you caused harm to police officers that day. It don't matter. And that's what we face. And that was the most egregious thing that happened. I didn't even think it was going to happen that fast. Day one, he did it. And like I said, the throttle, pedal to the metal at this point with hell in the handbasket. I didn't even think it was going to be this fast. Not only to say that wasn't even a major campaign promise. And I don't know if we're going to get deeper into it. Just a couple of weeks ago, J.D. Vance went on, I believe it was
Right.
Face the Nation.
Yes.
And said completely the opposite. He said, of course, we're not going to give pardons to violent criminals that did things that day on January 6th. And I'd be damned if he did it. Not even 24 hours in his presence. So first and foremost, what does that tell you about where J.D. Vance is in the loop? It don't seem like he's in the loop, if you ask
Not
me.
at all. Not at all.
So you know, that's even a more larger problem that we face it. JD Vance has no place in this cabinet. He just don't. He's just there. He a mouthpiece, if anything. He ain't got no pull. He has no policy presence, nothing. And that's just a fact.
Yeah, JD Vance is rarely seen. I think seeing him highlights on the inauguration, that was the first time I saw him since around the election. I hadn't seen much of JD Vance. And I don't. I mean, maybe this is the same tactic like with Biden and Kamala Harris, where Kamala Harris was not seen too often to try to like not overshadow Biden. Maybe this is the same strategy by Trump and his team. I don't know. One other thing I want to mention here too, we're in this inauguration. 'Cause there's a lot that went on. Donald Trump didn't put his hand on the Bible. I keep seeing pictures of the one hand up, but the other hand was not on the Bible. I don't know if Barack Obama did that, if that would have been well received, but I would think MAGA wouldn't like that. But I guess so far it's not a big deal as usual with everything Trump does. What do you think about that, MD, as far as him not putting the hand on the Bible? Why do you think that is?
You know my personal outlook when it comes to stuff like that. You shouldn't be required, of course. You know what I mean? It's just there for symbolism, if anything, But as it pertains to this particular reasoning, it's almost ironic because you fight so hard and I guess you would say round up your base to a point where anything that you do, anything that you say is a direct representation of that particular base. Of course, we talk about the evangelical base. For him not to do that, and again, he every right not to, but for him not to do it shows you the way he feels about his particular base. And it's more stuff that I'm pretty sure that we're gonna get into tonight. That shows that plain and simple, he does not give a damn about anybody that voted for him at all. I recall him saying, "Hey, look, just vote for me this last time. You ain't gonna have to worry about it no more." Trump is transactional. He got what he needed. His hands is clean with you crazy people. His hands are clean. He could do what he want now. So that was a thumbing up his nose to his base, because at this point it don't matter. And like I said, many other examples that we probably gonna get into tonight that shows it.
Right. So also what about the striking imagery of all these millionaires, or billionaires, I should say, right front and center, just bending the knee to the almighty whitey. What are your thoughts on this, where you have so many powerful billionaires having this direct access here to Trump and the government here? What do you think about that?
Again, we're living in the new Gilded Age. This is the new oligarchy for the 21st century. And, you can look at it as bending the knee. That's fine. I look at it more so as, pay to play. That's how I look at it. So everything that those people were able to do in order to gain favor and gain access was based on the fact that they were the leading cause, in my opinion, of Trump winning this election. And that's just a fact. Everything that they needed, that Trump needed from them, they got it. Even up to a point where they, for the most part, gave money up to the price of their position, even symbolically being in the front row at the inauguration and the rest of the cabinet being behind them. it's all symbolic. It's all symbolic. Symbolic enough to see where the priorities lie within the administration. The people that were front and center, those are the people that going to benefit the most from this presidency. Not Joe Schmo in middle America. It's not going to happen. It's just not. A big thing, the price of eggs, we'll see how much that get lowered. And we'll see how many subsidies, how many grants, the people that really matter, that was up front, what they get.
Right. And going back to Trump's not really caring about his followers, not caring about his voters. He's just pretty much just playing a role to get what he needs out of them, which is their vote, to help propel him into power. Donald Trump went to church. Donald Trump went to church, and someone at the church gave him actually 3 minutes worth of nothing bad, but I want everyone to look at this video, and let's look at the reaction on Trump, the reaction on J.D. Vance, facially, and the family members, and listen to what's being said. And we'll see on the other end if we feel this was right, this was wrong. But again, Trump is in church, and someone in church decided they wanted to speak to him directly for about 3 minutes. Let's take a look at this video.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
That was Bishop Marian Edgar Buddy doing what so few legacy news outlets, so few tech companies, so few billionaires, so few CEOs are willing to do, and that is to use her platform to speak truth to power and to do it fearlessly. I know that the Elon Musks and Jeff Bezoses and Mark Zuckerbergs of the world love to talk about how masculine they are. This bishop showed more balls in 3 minutes than the 3 of those men have in the last decade combined. And let's be clear, what she's explaining here is not a foreign concept for people who call themselves Christians. Showing empathy or caring about families is quite literally what Christianity is predicated on. And yet you can see on the faces of J.D. Vance and Donald Trump that being asked to follow these principles is deeply uncomfortable. Vance can hardly maintain eye contact. In fact, the whole Trump family seems to be crawling out of their skin when the president is told to follow the most basic tenets of the very religion that they claim to adhere to. And let's admit that we all had the exact same thought while we were watching this. Now that's the last time Trump is going to end up at this church. And think about how pathetic that is. This guy is so weak, so fragile, so thin-skinned that because a bishop dared suggest he show empathy, God forbid, in accordance with the stated values of his own religion, that he won't go back. For anybody who claims to support this guy, what part of what Bishop Buddy said was incorrect? What part was antithetical to the teachings of the church? What part of the Bible says that immigrants should be deported or that families should be ripped apart? Take all the time you need with that one. And that's why, by the way, when Donald Trump was asked what he thought about the service, well, this is what he had to say.
What did you think of What did you think of the service?
What did you think? Did you like it? Did you find it exciting? Not too exciting, was it? I didn't think it was a good service, no. Thank you very much.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
They can do much better.
Yeah, the only thing less surprising than that response by Trump is the sun rising in the morning. In fact, Bishop Buddy has been consistent in speaking out against Trump's wholly anti-Christian crusade. Here she is during Trump's first term when Trump used the Bible as a prop while having our own military attack peaceful protesters.
Let me be clear. The president just used a Bible, the most sacred text of the Judeo-Christian tradition, and one of the churches of my diocese, without permission, as a backdrop for a message antithetical to the teachings of Jesus and everything that our churches stand for. And to do so, as you just said, he sanctioned the use of tear gas by police officers in riot gear to clear the church yard. I am outraged. The president did not pray when he came to St. John's, nor, as you just articulated, did he acknowledge the agony of our country right now, and in particular that of the people of color in our nation, who wonder if anyone in public power will ever acknowledge their sacred worth, and who are rightfully demanding an end to 400 years of systemic racism and white supremacy in our country. And I just want the world to know that we in the Diocese of Washington, following Jesus and his way of love, we distance ourselves from the incendiary language of this president. We follow someone who lived a life of nonviolence and sacrificial love. We align ourselves with those seeking justice for the death of George Floyd and countless others through the sacred act of peaceful protest. And I just can't believe what my eyes have seen tonight.
All right, there we go. Donald Trump in church, pretty much listening to, okay, it's one thing to have your point of view, your beliefs and all that, but the message in here was to just acknowledge other people and be, mindful of other people. You don't have to agree with other people, but they're people too, and they have rights and whatnot. And she was just trying to bring that to the forefront with Donald Trump. And as you can see visibly, he completely checked out, and he was out of it the whole time. J.D. Vance, everybody involved with Trump, they didn't want to hear anything about that. But you're in church and you have a pastor saying things that the Bible and church is about, and clearly he's visibly not about that. So on the panel right now, we got Ricardo. Ricardo, what's going on, Ricardo?
What's good, y'all? Happy 2025, everybody. TFP 2.0, we're now live, and this is where we're at. This is the cringeworthiness watching the inauguration yesterday. You cannot, because I'm going to jump right into it. You cannot undo that look that we all thought we saw with JD Vance, with Trump looking very disgruntled when Trump started to speak directly to him, and everybody else doing their little snarky smile and all of that. There's something to be said when you're in some form of church setting and you become very uncomfortable. Now, we have all been there. Like whether a message has been sent directly to you in terms of a church, I guess, I guess you would say in terms of like a church message or a church calling or whatnot. You should always be uncomfortable in church. I always say that if you're uncomfortable in church, something's clearly wrong, because again, we're all sinners. So the sinners in us cannot deal with the holy messages that are projected to us when we're in church. Now, with that being stated, I cannot unsee that in that whole swarm of sea of white people, there was nobody that was presently already, except for JD Vance's wife, maybe for like one or two people, maybe the HUD guy. It was very, like, the whole thing was cringeworthy. It just didn't scream multiculturalism to me. It just screamed, hey, this is just projection of whiteness and the fragility of that in terms of the message being presented integration step from the bishop, and everything else just wouldn't make sense, because again, I've always, and I will always have a gripe with them. The evangelical crowd and evangelical people and the evangelical, they all don't give a damn unless it pertains to them. So the whole immigration stance thing, and she projected to him, and look on, he doesn't give a damn. We all know Trump is very egotistical, very self-centered. If the world doesn't center on him, it doesn't really make a difference. And for us to see, he looked very uncomfortable. We ain't gonna lie. JD Vance is a story we can't even touch on that, because we don't even know whether he's here or anywhere. He's just in the moment. Like, I can never gauge where he's at. Like, I'm so confused. Only high, I guess, ranking person I've ever seen put into a position of VP, and we don't know anything where he, in terms of his stance. Like, it just seems so flip-floppy. It was ever since we did the debates, from that moment on, it's just, I don't know. I just cannot gauge him. I just don't know whether he's good or bad. I don't know. And that, to me, becomes a problem when it comes to anything political regarding the country going forward. Now, the VP is always supposed to be the person that, if the president is not to the public's liking, at least the VP is the fallback guy, if that makes sense. Know if we can gauge in either case if either one is good. What happens if Trump, God forbid, becomes incapacitated? Is VP Vance able to then take the initiative of stepping up to the plate? All of that, I don't know. It's just a very odd situation to look at. Overall, just yesterday, the cringeworthiness of seeing them all in the front. How do you say her name? Melania. She just looked like she just smirked every now and then. Maybe she thought she was at a funeral. I don't know. She was just all in dark attire. It was just very strange. I don't know.
She had that Pizza Hut hat on.
Yeah, it's just like, why would you wear black to us? Like, it just seems very odd to me. Overall, it was just strange. Obama getting booed, and it's just like, all of this just seems like a whole twilight. But on and on, to be like, I'm babbling and going on and on. I just say this to everyone. It's now 2025. If you think this is scary now, if you thought the whole, and I don't know if you're going to get into the whole, him doing the whole high rank, Musk doing the whole high rank thing, the high rank, not rank, Reich signature thing that he did. If that didn't make you uncomfortable, it should. I don't think they're going to revolt until they feel that their Social Security is going to be gone soon. You're going to see people revolting until they're taking away certain things that they said that they weren't going to take away. That's when people are going to go, oh, wait a minute, you said you weren't. It's going to be too late. You had your time. You all voted. Don't complain. That's all I'm gonna say. But continue with the train wreck show that we're seeing. You know I love me a good popcorn. So I have my popcorn buttered. Let's just get into it.
All right. Thank you, the king of pop, Gordon. Ricardo, thanks for that. MD, what's your thoughts on the video we just saw? Your views on this video, same as Ricardo?
Yeah, I would implore everybody to go back and watch that video for themselves and pay attention to the mannerisms. That's all you got to do. Pay attention to the mannerisms. JD Vance was obviously disgusted at what was being said because he knew that it was a direct shot at him and Trump and everything that they stand for. He knew that. Notice how he was turning his head. He turned his head to Usha the first time and didn't say anything. I guess he assumed that Usha was gonna look back at him like, yeah, you did some BS, but she didn't do that. Her eyes were pierced onto the message that was being said. Damn near looked like she wanted to cry. Same with Tiffany. Tiffany at first glance, it caught her, and she had to look around to see, like, okay, let me read the room of the rest of my scumbag family and try to mimic that. But when they put the camera on the family, she had a look in her eye like, hell in a handbasket. She knew it. And I apologize if y'all hear my puppy, his damn puppy whining. But she knew it. Now, on the other hand, you had go back and watch Laura Trump. Laura Trump rolled her eyes, had a look of disgust. They know what's going on. Whoever coordinated this particular service probably going to be fired in the next couple of days. I don't know what you thought that you were going to get. I mean, obviously, this is a person in the Archdiocese of Washington, so you got to have somebody coordinating particular service. Why she was doing it, I have no idea. I don't, like I said, but again, this shows you just the lack of coordination, the lack of planning, and the stumbling and fumbling that we're gonna see for the next 4 years. That's just a fact. That's just a whole fact. But in the eyes of a person that is strong in their faith, don't really matter what type of faith it is. This is the ideal perception of what a person with that strong will should advocate towards whatever the problems that they may see. That's just a whole fact. So, it was interesting. It was definitely interesting. One ear out the other when it comes to the MAGA maniac, because they can't rationalize what their base is according to their faith and what actual faith is. Again, me personally, this is a secular nation. It's fine to incorporate aspects of your faith and due diligence with the collective, but ultimately none of it matters. And MAGA gonna show that to you these next 4 years. None of it matters because it's all a play. It's all I guess you would say in the facade of a team sport, which is not how the institutions of government is supposed to be ran. Real quick, I want to, because Trevor put up a question and he directed it to me. I just want to make sure that he never got back to me. But I'm assuming that he's talking about the pardons. I just want to reiterate my response to it. So again, I wholeheartedly disagree with it. I think that is the first step of the type of administration that we're gonna see, but it's not unconstitutional to do it. I mean, Section 2 of the Constitution clearly gives pardon power to the president. So I don't know exactly,
MD, do you think that there should be limits within the pardon powers that a president has? There should be some sort of limit or something?
Well, there is limits. It's limited to federal conviction, so it is limited. Now, this is where you got to play politics as it pertains to what crimes are indicated in the prosecution from the federal standpoint. In my opinion, when stuff happened in Washington, D.C., I think Washington, and they do to a certain extent, but I think it needs to be more refined in terms of state, which Washington is not a state. But in the fashion of what we're talking about, state versus federal, in no way, shape, or form should you violate or attack a police officer and it goes to effect. Now, sedition is a federal crime, but most people weren't charged with sedition. Only the ones that planned and coordinated these attacks were given that charge. But the megamaniacs at large weren't given those seditious charge. They should have been, in some form or fashion, whether it was Maryland or Virginia, should have been charged in state court. That's just a fact. But
you think that was done on purpose?
I think because. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, if you just thought that some way, somehow they just did that because they said in the potential of him getting in that he could pardon them, maybe that was done on purpose.
No, I don't think so. I just think as it pertains to the relevancy of the crime in totality with everybody, I think they looked at it as a federal event, which it was because it was state capital. You know what I mean?
Well, the reason I say that is because there's so many police officers and people in the military that were like low key okay with this, and so you just don't know who you're dealing with. I'm sure judges are feeling a certain way, and I just wonder what prosecutors may feel. You just wonder about that. Who is human beings are human beings. They're also trash. Human beings are human beings. So, they're going to do human things. And it's in human nature to do some crazy stuff, man. So I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah,
look how long it took for the cases to get here.
Yeah. But what? Yeah. But that's an internal issue all on its own. My thing is, I think it's certain parameters that surround the Constitution where it clearly defines what's what. I think the way to get around it is to not necessarily reclassify, but change the parameters as it pertains to how you're gonna prosecute certain people. You know what I mean? Of course, you should always have federal institutions that are able to prosecute. That's the standard. But in some cases, I think it's more it's more solidified judgment if you do it from a state level. Now, some people may argue that's why we need Washington as a 51st state. And I can see that argument. You know what I'm saying? Because had Washington been a 51st state, Washington would have had every right to reserve prosecution from the state level to all of those people in January 6th. And we wouldn't even be having this discussion. They'll be rotting in jail where they're supposed to be at. But now they got cameras on them right now because they expected some releases tonight, which is a shame.
That one guy, the leader of the Proud Boys, he was a lame duck, one of the early lame ducks that we had, and he had like 22 years, and now this guy, yeah, and that's just crazy that he's gonna go free, clean slate.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Him and Stuart Rhodes, both
right.
Both of those guys had communication with the Trump White House. And crazy. Advisors within the Trump White House told them that Trump was going to initiate martial law. Get your guns, pack them up, and wait for the signal. That's why they got so much time. That's a clear indication of sedition and high treason, if you tell me. Hell, they should have been put at the gallows and hung to death.
Yep.
If it was me, high treason, death, as it states in the Constitution.
That is crazy, man. That's not a life. I mean, my God, that is just asinine. I don't know. You could be a Trump supporter all day, but you can't agree with this kind of stuff. My God, damn. Come on. But whatever. Oh man. So Any other things that grabbed anyone's attention from the inauguration? How about Elon Musk doing this Hitler salute? Which, what the hell is that about? Zuckerberg looking at people's titties. I mean, what's going on in this inauguration? Anybody have anything they want to add to that?
Yeah. Ricardo mentioned it. Let's take a little minute with this whole Sieg Heil thing. First of all, that's another video. I urge people to go back and watch, just not that particular clip. Watch the whole introduction of Elon Musk. Something is clearly wrong with Elon Musk. He's on the spectrum, folks. Now, I think it's more along the lines of the social part of the spectrum. As far as the physical, I don't believe so, because he ain't got no problems. He ain't got like no sensory issues or nothing like that. He's more along the emotional side of the spectrum. That's just a whole fact. I believe it's some form of Asperger's disease is what he got. It's clear. He came out on the stage and did flailing his arms about like a small child. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this man? And people making all types of excuses, talking about, oh, it was the Roman salute where they throw the heart out to the crowd. Bro, there's no such thing as a Roman salute. There's nothing in history that's portraying the Romans doing that ever. So you can't use that. And this where you must be, I guess you would say, proficient in certain ancient histories. The reason the Sieg Heil came into place was because of the Romans, but not because of any type of ancient Roman custom. It was from plays and shit like that were portraying Roman soldiers. So it's made up. That's all it is. People kill me how they try to rationalize their ideology, and they lie to themselves and then try to throw that lie on to you, expecting you to believe the shit. This is crazy. He clearly did Sieg Heil. Do I think he did it? I guess you would say on purpose.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I would say yes and no. The reason I would say yes is because I think, again, with him being on the spectrum, the emotional side of the spectrum, he knows that the vast majority of MAGA maniacs are not in favor of him right now. He knows that for a fact, based on the whole H-1B thing. We're going to get into that later on as well. I think he tried to show favor, like many people that have social autism do things that they necessarily don't believe or agree with, but he do it just to get favor. And he did it hard too. I'm talking about that was a forceful Sieg Heil. It's as if Adolf Hitler was in front of him himself.
Mm-hmm.
Forceful. So for people trying to rationalize it, like, get a life, bro. Like, understand mannerisms and how people attempt to gain favor and socialize. It's clear that he did it not necessarily on purpose, but forcefully did it to gain favor. So I say yes and no. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? But I think it's more or less because he's so emotionally confused. He do a lot of shit that he try to do to gain favor with people. And what bigger crowd to do it in front of MAGA maniacs? That's what I feel about it.
Yeah, and speaking about the MAGA maniac crowd, so he had the initial inauguration speech in that main area, and then he moved over to some other area, and then it just turned into like this rally, and he immediately went after all the usual people he goes after, Cheney, and just making all these comments. That's like, you're in inauguration day. You're supposed to be. We already had the campaign. The division was back then. Now is inauguration. You should be trying to bring the country together. But he's just like insulting. And when he had the initial inauguration speech, Joe Biden's sitting right there, and he's talking about Joe Biden caused this, caused that, which is a bunch of lies, by the way. But whatever. So here it is again, where he has no substantive things to offer. So he goes to his greatest hits bag, and then he needs to say something to pass the time because he doesn't have anything. He's not a man of substance. So that he just, I'm in a room with people. I'm gonna that are on my side. I'm gonna say this stuff, and that'll get them happy and riled up. And that's not leadership, man. That's not leadership.
Yeah. He feeds off of the megalomaniac enthusiasm. He don't know what to do if it's not there. He just don't. Notice in the inauguration speech, he was so monotone and
Right.
stumbling and bumbling on words, and
Right.
it essentially looked like he really didn't want to be there. Soon as he stepped into Emancipation Hall in the overflow room, he went to MAGA babbling because that's he that's how he get off. That's how he gets off. Even to a point where he complained about the speech.
Yes.
In the second speech, he complained about the first speech, talking about they cut this out and cut that out, and I didn't like that, so I'm gonna say what I want here. And bro, he don't know what else to do. He just don't. He's gonna be essentially everything that they said Biden was in speech of importance. That's what he gonna be, because he don't know anything else. If he got to read off that teleprompter, it's gonna be monotone. It's gonna be stumbling and fumbling. It's gonna be gaffes. That's just what it is. Freestyle, wow. He fine because he gonna freestyle. He gonna do the weave, and he gonna mag about.
Yep.
He gonna straight mag about. He's not comfortable unless he's doing that.
And let's address the elephant in the room here with this. So, he's saying that he had to bring it indoors because of the weather being cold. And it also screwed over a lot of MAGA maniacs because
there's another one.
Yeah. They were making plans and they spent the money, thousands of dollars to be there, and it was all canceled and brought indoor. But the whole reason really is because he didn't have enough of people coming, and we all know how he feels about crowds. The first time his crowd was way smaller than Obama. I don't know why that was even a thing. Nobody would have even thought of it. He brought it up, but
nobody cares. Who give a damn?
No, exactly. But that's the petty nature of this whole thing. So he instead of getting that embarrassment again, because it will come, people will be taking pictures and they will be highlighting that because he brought it to people's attention. Now people are thinking like that. So let's make up the excuse that it's too cold. We got to go inside. But there's a whole bunch of people, MAGA people that were outside and whatnot in the cold weather. I mean, I just don't get it. I just don't get, everything is a deception or a lie. There's no straightforwardness with Trump, man. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you saw any of the footage from outside. So
the protest
in
the counter.
Yeah, they had the counter protesters. From what I saw, now let me know what you saw, Venkat. But from what I saw, it was more of a presence with the protesters than it was the actual people that weren't inside the Capital One arena.
Of course.
That's just a fact. Course. Most people outside selling stuff, and Trump, you know how it is when Trump come to town. Right. that's when it's time to make your money with the Trump gear. So I saw from all the footage that I saw, it was more of a presence with the protesters than it was MAGA maniacs outside. Now, give me a guess. How many people do you think were inside the Capital One arena? Because I don't know the number. I haven't looked. I don't know.
I mean, it can't be more than a few hundred. That's what I would think. It wasn't that big.
To me, it looked like it didn't look like a big crowd. First of all, they had half the arena cut off. They didn't have anything behind Trump. or nothing, and he was smack dab in the middle of the arena on the stage
Yeah.
or whatever. Then, you know, you had the like the half bowl setting. It didn't look like that many people. So there wasn't going to be, even if they would have did the inauguration outside, it would have been another alternative fact issue. That's just what it is.
Right.
It would have been another song. I don't know how we would have been able to do it this time. And you know, we for all the football fans out there, we just saw damn near snow game in both Philly and in Buffalo.
Right.
With hundreds of thousands of people at both games collectively. If these are diehard MAGA maniacs, they gonna come out there. So Trevor said an AEW crowd. Yeah, pretty much. So my thing is, so what happened?
He would AEW crowd would be bigger.
Hey man, so you know, but that goes to show you, it was this particular election truly about enthusiasm of Trump, or was it about dissatisfaction of what they were getting already?
Right. That's right.
I mean, you got to analyze it.
Yeah, it's just amazing, man.
Oh, and one more thing, and I don't know if we're gonna cover this. I saw the show notes, and we still talking about the inauguration.
Yeah,
we gotta talk about what happened 24 hours prior to the inauguration.
Are you talking about the meme coins?
Yeah. If you got the video, bring it up.
No,
like I said, I don't know if it's a segment or not.
No, go ahead. You can go ahead. I didn't bother because I have other things that I had to do, so I didn't bother putting it in.
Okay, all right, cool. So earlier in the show, I talked about how Trump don't give a damn about a MAGA maniac. This man put out a meme coin, is what they call it. You know, I know we got Mike in the house. He can explain it better than I can. A meme coin where literally his organization pumped it with so much value that it went up to a point where people say, hey, look, I got to get into it. I ain't got
that
no
would
choice.
Be called a pump and dump?
Pump and dump is what they call it in the stock world. I know that much.
Oh, man.
Pumped it up to a point where everybody bought into it. And this man, I'm talking about overnight, Venkat. This man's net worth shot up to a point where he had never seen ever in his life. You could talk about all his real estate, whatever, Trump University, nothing can compare to it. Overnight, Venkat, this man became, I think they said, the 5th or 6th richest man in the world, just off of a meme coin. And when it was time to get out, all the people within the Trump organization went out at one point in time and even gave a big finger at the end by putting out a Melania coin and said, we out of here. And it plummeted.
Yeah.
People lost thousands of dollars, Venkat. Now these
More.
are MAGA
There was
maniacs.
one guy was on X talking about he lost $1 million.
Hey, I don't know what to say, Venkat. I just don't know.
But why would you do something like that? I mean, my God, you could vote for him, but you don't have to do every little nook and cranny thing that he comes up with.
These people are addicted. I call them MAGA maniacs for a reason, Venkat. It's more to it than just the political ideology. These people believe that this man is the savior of America. And whatever he tell me to do, I got to do it. I have no other choice. It's a religion. It's a cult. How many times I got to say that? People go to church every Sunday that's barely making it, barely getting by. Whatever little change or whatever they got in their coin purse, they give it to the pastor knowing that they need to pay rent the next week. There's no difference with the MAGA maniac. No difference. Meanwhile, the real people that understand this stuff, the tech bros, the Bitcoin bros, whatever you want to call them, looking at you laughing. Like, oh yeah, we finna get some money. And they did. I don't know what else to say, Venkat. I just don't.
It's unbelievable the level of crazy that we're
See, look
dealing.
at Mike. Mike, he a Bitcoin bro. He know how to do it. You stole those people's money, sir. stole it. But hey, it's legal. So it is what it is.
Wow. That's unbelievable, man. And this is the president doing this crazy activity. Why does he have to keep coming? I mean, he's going to continue to hawk merchandise, and they're going to continue to buy it. It's just crazy.
Which supposed to be illegal, because as the sitting president, you're supposed to relinquish all business acquisitions that you have.
Yep.
Don't nobody give a damn about that no more.
It's crazy. Yeah, because so many wild things have happened that so that's like little compared to the other stuff. Oh my God. So
I got no words, man. No words.
We lost Ricardo. Hopefully we can get him back. I did put the link back in the chat there. So let's get into the HB1 visa fight that we had happen a few weeks ago. MAGA versus MAGA. Let's take a look at this video, and then we'll get our thoughts on the other end.
Nothing says happy holidays like a conservative civil war on the internet. The so-called Doge faction of Trump's coalition, led by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, is now openly feuding with Trump's anti-immigrant MAGA wing. The infighting broke out after Trump named an Indian-American venture capitalist, Sriram Krishnan, to be his advisor on artificial intelligence. That immediately triggered racially charged backlash from far-right activists like Laura Loomer, who said Krishnan's appointment and his vocal support for green cards for highly skilled workers was deeply disturbing and in direct opposition to Trump's agenda. Musk and Ramaswamy strongly disagreed and fired back with separate online posts that backed both Krishnan and foreign-born workers.
The Republican Party is staring at a widespread chaos as Donald Trump prepares to return to the White House. Rifts within the GOP came to light when former Republican presidential nominee Vivek Ramaswamy opened a can of worms on the hot-button issue of immigration. The Indian-American billionaire reflected on Donald Trump picking another Indian-American, Sriram Krishnan, to advise the White House on matters regarding artificial intelligence. Ramaswamy said American firms prefer hiring Indian Americans because modern-day Americans have a mediocre culture that celebrates prom nights and football jocks instead of engineers.
The reason top tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over Native Americans isn't because of an innate American IQ deficit, a lazy and wrong explanation. A key part of it comes down to the C word, a culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ, or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers.
The tech billionaire then went on to state several parenting practices that are common in America and how they were not the best for raising the future generation.
More movies like Whiplash, fewer reruns of Friends, more math tutoring, fewer sleepovers, more weekend science competitions, fewer Saturday morning cartoons, more books, less TV, more creating, less chilling, more extracurriculars, less hanging out at the mall. Most normal American parents look skeptically at those kind of parents. More normal American kids view those kinds of kids with scorn. If you grow up aspiring to normalcy, normalcy is what you will achieve. This can be a Sputnik moment. We've awakened from slumber before and we can do it again. Trump's election hopefully marks the beginning of a new golden era in America, but only if our culture fully wakes up. A culture that once again prioritizes achievement over normalcy, excellence over mediocrity, nerdiness over conformity, hard work over laziness.
However, Ramaswamy's comments did not sit well with many Republican lawmakers and MAGA supporters. Several right-wing accounts began posting racist rants against the Indian American, with some even calling for his deportation. Ramaswamy's comments have started infighting within Donald Trump's team, with many calling it the Great MAGA Civil War. However, the criticism and outrage has forced Ramaswamy to now take back his comments, and the billionaire has now called for reforming the H-1B visa program. Now, the H-1B is a sponsorship program that allows American firms to hire foreign workers temporarily, and the policy has largely benefited people from both India and China. Ramaswamy now suggests that the program should be scrapped entirely and immigrants should only be allowed in the United States based on merit. With the inauguration just around the corner, infighting in the Republican Party has taken center stage, and it remains to be seen whether more cracks will develop in the MAGA camp before Donald Trump is sworn in.
It's interesting to think about who benefits from when Elon pulls in all these H-1B visaed employees before he fires them. Where does that go in the economic system?
Bingo. I think that's a critical question to ask. Immigration generally is good, but H-1B visa immigration, where you're bringing in skilled workers from abroad, it's not particularly good. In fact, the only people that are benefiting are the big investors, the CEOs, and Wall Street, because it means more profits. It means less investment in American workers. Why invest in American workers and their training and education if you can get the foreign workers? It means less investment by foreign countries in their own workers, because why should they if they're going to simply
brain drain?
It's a continuous brain drain. It just means that inequality widens.
The president-elect finally weighs in on a controversial issue that pits two of his top advisors against his MAGA base. Donald Trump now defends the H-1B visa program, which allows thousands of highly skilled foreign workers to immigrate to the U.S. every year to fill specialized jobs. Trump told the New York Post, quote, "I've always liked the visas. I have always been in favor of the visas. That's why we have them. I've been a believer in H-1B. I have used it many times. It's a great program."
It's one of the first signs of disunity or disharmony in the folks who support Trump and who are going to make up his administration. And this is likely to be an ongoing point of tension.
Trump is now siding with billionaires Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, who Trump has tapped to lead the new Department of Government Efficiency. Musk and Ramaswamy have defended the H-1B program, Musk posting recently that it's the reason he's in America and, quote, "Take a big step back and blank yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend." But Musk and Ramaswamy's stance is being slammed by Trump's MAGA supporters, like his former White House strategist Steve Bannon, who said on his podcast that H-1B takes jobs from American citizens.
The program from top to bottom is a scam and a con. There is nothing in this program that should continue to exist. Nothing. These are coders that are going to work for a third of the salaries and work like indentured servants. That's not American citizens.
Trump's comment that he's, quote, always been in favor of the H-1B visas isn't true. He previously opposed those visas and restricted access to them several times during his first administration in an effort to curb legal immigration. But in the 2024 presidential campaign, Trump had changed his tune on skilled workers coming to the U.S.
What I want to do and what I will do is you graduate from a college, I think you should get automatically as part of your diploma a green card to be able to stay in this country.
Musk, who was born in South Africa, came to the U.S. as a foreign student, later worked in the U.S. on an H-1B visa. And it's his companies and those of other tech giants who've recently courted Donald Trump which stand to benefit from more H-1B workers in the U.S.
At least at this early stage, some of the tech leaders, including Musk, who bet on a Trump administration to deliver them policies that would be favorable to their industry and to their businesses, may be seeing some return from them.
All right, Doge co-founder Vivek Ramaswamy will no longer head the department, leaving Elon Musk as the sole chair. Edward Lawrence joins us live from the White House with more. Edward, what's the backstory?
Yeah, so he's stepping away possibly for future endeavors, and I'll get to that in just a second. Elon Musk was spotted here on the White House complex yesterday, and noticeably absent was his Doge duo brother, Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, a Trump transition spokesperson says that Vivek has stepped away from the Department of Government Efficiency because he's possibly going to run for the governor of Ohio. Now, on social media, Vivek says this. He says, quote, it was my honor to help support the creation of Doge. I'm confident that Elon and the team will succeed in streamlining government. I'll have more to say soon about my future plans for Ohio. Last night, when President Trump signed the executive order creating Doge, he was asked about the world's richest person getting an office in the West Wing.
This is an order creating and implementing the Department of Governmental Efficiency, known as Doge.
Okay, that's a big one.
Is Elon Musk going to get a West Wing office?
No, he's getting an office for about 20 people that we're hiring.
to make sure that these get implemented.
All right, there we go. Doge. And and joining the panel, we got the other Mike is right. What?
That's wonderful. Thank you for saying it correctly. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
All right. So let's go to Mike then. Mike, what's your thoughts here about the Doge Department of Efficiency, Government Efficiency?
No, sir. It's the other Mike is right. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah.
Much obliged. I just need, because you guys, listening to you guys talk, it makes me feel like I'm talking to Kevin, and like I don't think anyone else is seeing what y'all trying to say. So I'm gonna try to put it on a ground level. Okay. Anyone that has watched any video that was playing today, any video that's been on the show so far, what you need to understand is these people are insane. So it doesn't matter any sort of logical thought, any sort of common sense, anything close to the level of sensical that you think exists in the world doesn't exist. That's why MD calls them MAGA maniacs. They're insane. Now, this is the exact reason why they will always beat the Democrats and they'll always beat the GOP. This is the reason, because think about what happened in the beginning of the video. They were mad. They were upset. First, they were upset at Elon. Then they were upset at the billionaire Indian guy because they spoke the truth. Because let's be clear, if I were to tell you 2 months ago that Friends reruns were coming and there was going to be a coin called Melania, nobody would have cared about the latter. Everybody would be like, oh shit, Friends is coming back. Yay. Because that's America. America. They literally, oh my, and it's wonderful. They literally had opposing views. And they weren't like slightly, they weren't close, they were opposing. And then Trump said, hey, we don't have a problem. And the problems went away. Did you see that? I don't think y'all saw that. No, real talk. There was a fundamental rift. Trump said, nuh-uh. And the rift was gone. That's why they'll always beat Dems. It's the exact same thing that Obama was dealing with when he had his little Dixiecrats. And then Obama was like, no, there shouldn't be an issue. The Dixiecrats were like, look out of here, bone African. We ain't listening to you. They don't have that in the MAGA party because there's no logic. The logic is whatever Trump says. If Trump says the sky is blue, the sky is blue. If he comes out tomorrow and says it's really a turquoise, then they're going to act like that's what he said in 92. It don't matter. It doesn't matter what thoughts you have. It doesn't matter if you're like, but don't they really want the America to be good? No, they don't care. They don't think America's going to be great again. They think they're going to be in charge. That's all they care about. And now with the pardons, they think even if they do wrong, they'll get away with it eventually. Hey, go sit down in jail for 2-3 months. He'll get you out. You can murder some Negroes. It's okay. You can beat up police. It's all right. That's the get out of jail free card. We got our guy in. They literally beat up cops. And they're free. And not just regular free, but somebody put it in the chat. Free with their gun rights back. Free with their voter rights back. Free to do it again. And now, not only are they free, but they're a trusted arm of the MAGA militia. Because we know they'll go that far. Some people just like to talk. These guys are about action. So that's why that billionaire Indian shut his mouth. Because he knows what, hey, relax. I'll talk to them on board. If any of you ever played Fallout, but shoot, what's that game with the crazy? The guy Seth Rollins' character was made after. Far Cry 5.
Far Cry, yeah.
Yeah, if you ever played Far Cry, there was that guy who was, everything he says it is from the Lord above. That's Trump now. That is Trump. All Trump has to do is say it. Once he says it, it is law. And it came from the orange depths, the orange heights from above into the depths of our soul because America's great again. It's already there. All we got to do is make sure we keep these Negroes in their place. We keep these Indians in their place. We keep these Mexicans in their place. That's all. We keep these Jews in their place. That's all we got to do. We got to keep the Jews happy so we can get to Jesus when it's time to get there. Keep the Negroes happy so they'll do the menial jobs. Keep the Mexicans happy so they'll do the less than menial jobs. And we'll just coast right into heaven. It's already over, guys. We already lost. We
So
already lost.
what about okay, so them pardoning all these criminals, 'cause that's what they are. They're
Yes,
not
they are.
hostages. They
Literally.
criminals, like legit criminals. So
Facts.
now that they got pardoned, doesn't that make society a lot more unsafe? You
No. Because
remember
they're not criminals, Venkat. They were pardoned.
racists were not around like out there. They were behind the scenes. Now we've emboldened them with the first Trump presidency, and now we've certified that emboldenment.
Hey.
now.
Yeah.
So it makes things exponentially more unsafe because the a lot of the attacks internally in the country are coming from white supremacists. Like a lot of these terror attacks are from white supremacists. So that's not going to ramp down. That will just ramp up.
Venkat, it can't be blamed on Trump, though. That's all that matters. You know why? Because of Kevin's generation.
Yeah.
They so whack that all he had to do was release a couple rapping niggas. He released a couple, pardoned a couple, let him out of
Yeah.
jail. Now he can't be looked at as racist when he lets out the real racists. Because I let out some darkies. Hey, I pardoned Lil Wayne a little bit, didn't I? I got pictures with Kanye. I can't be racist. Look at me. Now he can do whatever he wants because the next generation is so damn soft. All you got to do is give him a check that wasn't even from him. He could put his name on it. And now Trump's that nigga. Trump been a thug. What you talking about? I love Trump. Go Orange, go. Why? He gave me a check. No, he didn't. The Democratic Party did it. He just signed it. I don't care, nigga. More money. Yo, you're laughing?
It's
That's
true, but it's
literally
so
what Kevin
sad.
said to me.
I know it's sad,
And he's not
man.
alone. I use Kevin because we all know Kevin, but
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I speak to people on a big basis. I get into arguments all over FB. Whenever I go to I go to Wawa and start arguments with people I don't know. I had a 3-hour argument with a man at Publix. I'm dead serious. I had a 3-hour argument with a guy at Publix over yogurt, and we ended up talking about Republicans versus Democrats, and we argued for 3 hours till the people came up to us and asked us, "Are we okay?" And he was like, "Get out of here! This is the only smart Democrat I've met." And I was like, "I'm not a Democrat." He was like, "See, I knew it had to be something." That was a thing that happened to me. So I'm telling you, they all think that. I've asked many dudes, "Why you don't vote?" "Oh, I ain't voting because it don't really matter. But you like Trump." "Hell yeah, I'll vote for Trump." "Why?" "Man, ain't nobody else gave me that money. Trump didn't give it to you." "Yeah, he did." And then when I show it to them that he didn't, you know what they say? "I don't care.
Wow.
It was under him." And I'm like, y'all the same idiots that love when gas go down under a president, you blame the president like he got something to do with it.
Right.
Like the president got a gas pump in his ass and he just pulls it out and be like, "All right, free gas, niggas." No. But this is what we came to because our generation dropped the ball and we let these soft-ass new niggas come up who don't think racism is real. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Tom's my friend. Tom's my buddy. I love Tom from work. Tom call you a nigga when he go home.
Yeah, they don't have the perspective that's necessary. And
Exactly.
people are
Look at
getting
them.
really comfortable.
Yo, that's why everybody's invited to the cookout.
Yeah.
Everybody knows my famous saying, there's only one white person allowed at my cookout because I know how they get down. I've had a white person be my friend for 5 years. And then the moment there was some drama, called me a nigga and then got punched in the mouth and had the nerve to get mad. I've had that. They'll never fool me again. Fool me. What Bush say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. You know what I'm saying? You're
Damn
not getting
right.
me. Fool me once, you can't fool me again. You're not gonna get me. You feel me? You're not gonna get me. One person, Jane Elliott. That's it. And if she got a +1, his name better be Bernie. That's the only one that might slide in. And Bernie only getting size. He ain't getting no big meat. Pause. He can't get no ribs. Killer Mike better pass him a plate. So I'm telling y'all are falling for it. We are watching the end times. I'm sorry. I know everyone hates when I get all apocalyptic or whatever the hell. There's a reason these shows are coming out. It is what it is. You let him lay the groundwork for Efree, and now he can do whatever he wants. Because there is no defense. Black people are usually the first defense because we the first ones to call out BS. He already got black people fighting. They fighting each other. Black people already fighting each other. There's no one to stand in front of him. So he gonna make America what he wants. I can't wait for the day when he tells us what MAGA really stands for. Because it ain't Make America Great Again. It's gonna be something else. And we gonna laugh as the fire start to burn. And and you know what I'm gonna say? Right when I'm dying, I'm gonna go, Mike was right. And then I'm gonna go ahead and die.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
Hey, and it's gonna be too late. All I'm gonna do when everything's around me burning and everybody's dying, I'm gonna put my hand up like I'm in the bloodline, and I'm gonna say, just to remind you all, Mike is right. And then I'm gonna die. Continue, Venkat.
Real quick, I wanted to say, I didn't even mention the new intro. What's her name? Shout out to Tequila. She liked the new intro. So we'll go to MD. MD, your thoughts here on that video there, MD.
Yeah, real quick, y'all mentioned the J6 pardons again, and this is significant because what Mike said was absolutely correct as it pertains to what type of precedent it represents as far as emboldening a certain ideology. Right, the last time something this significant dealing with a federal initiative to do such a thing so egregious, in my opinion, was the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Andrew Johnson takes over and essentially does the same thing that Trump just did. Give preemptive pardons to all them damn Confederates. Not only that, hell, give them reparation. Give them back land, emboldening them to solidify what they believed was correct in what they did. Up until the point where it was a fight for years upon years upon years until eventually 1877, the compromise that initially started off Jim Crow. Now, I ain't saying it's gonna go that far, but I'm telling you, these damn criminals, like you said, Venkat, they gonna get out of jail and think what they did was righteous in the eyes of being a quote unquote patriot in America. So if you think this shit is over, I got another thing coming to you.
I just want to interject.
To them. Now,
Mike said that. Mike said
Go
that,
ahead.
not Venkat. Mike said that, not Venkat, because Mike is right. Mike said they're gonna be criminals. They're gonna be emboldened. That was me. Okay, continue.
Okay, I got you. So Mike is right on that point. Now
Thank you very
here's
much,
where
kind
Mike
sir.
was
But
partially
I
right.
did say that they're criminals.
You will give you one word, Venkat.
I mean,
Go ahead,
yeah,
one word.
Yeah,
I
that's
want
cool.
my
So here's
coins.
where my
This is like Mario Brothers, man. I want my coins. And where's that star?
we got to give Venkat his flower. But here's where Mike was partially right. I agree with everything that you said as it pertains to the whole H-1B visa thing. But here's where I believe the foundation of it all is different. I was dealing with some stuff this week. Hell, I'm gonna be dealing with some stuff all of this week pretty much. I was supposed to produce a video that I couldn't do. Hopefully at some point in time, I still want to do it because I think it's a relevant topic. But because you played certain videos, I got to get this out now. You played a video, and I love Robert Reich. If there's anybody on the left that I enjoy watching, is Robert Reich. Robert Reich said some things in that video as it pertains to immigration creating inequality from the facet of the American aspect of jobs, economics, so on and so forth. Let me ask you a question, Venkat. What's the difference between what Robert Reich said and what Steve Bannon said?
They sound similar. They sound
Oh,
similar
they
to
sound
me.
similar. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I agree
So
with
can we
Steve
come
Bannon.
to? Okay, cool. So if you agree with Steve Bannon, what's the backlash about with Cenk Uygur?
Well, Jenk is off his rockets, man. That's a deep dive right now, but Jenk is just
Yeah, it is a deep
crazy.
dive. We gonna get into it on the later show because I think it's important. What I'm trying to preface is this word called populism. And I'm doing air quote. There is no such thing as left-wing populism or right-wing populism. Populism is populism. By definition,
Not according to
it's
Jenk.
popular ideal. I don't see a difference. And again, we're going to get into it. I don't want to fully dive in. I don't see a difference between what Cenk is saying and what Robert Reich is saying. I don't see a difference. Or what Steve Bannon is saying or any other MAGA maniac. I don't see a difference because in their eyes, it's a quote unquote popular ideal, meaning American jobs or American people face a burden when it comes to immigration from a job aspect or economic aspect. Now, Trump is a fake populist. He will use that engine of quote unquote populism to garner certain favor within a base to get votes.
Yep.
You played the video with him in his first term, basically writing executive order as it pertains to H-1B visa. Now, all of a sudden, it's a popular ideal, quote unquote. But now he's not by order of the quote unquote populace, the people, he's by order of the oligarchy. The transfer, right? Everything's transactional. Elon and other billionaires such as him benefit profit-wise off H-1B workers. That's just a fact. And the whole notion that Vivek was talking about as far as some type of work ethic or intellectual standard is all bullshit. Because that same intellectual standard that he's beholden to as it pertains to a culture is not identical to his own people. Because the only people that benefit off said intellectual culture is the upper echelon, the top caste in his own country. The people on the YouTube videos making the slop ain't got the same advantages when it comes to ethic from an intellectual standpoint. So what the hell are we talking about? Now this is where you finna get leftist, MD. If you're gonna play the game correctly. You know damn well that this whole American standard that's flawed and lazy and don't prioritize education is based on our freedoms. Now you get libertarian MD. Your culture, the subcontinent of India, your culture adequates that same culture based on the caste. The lower caste don't even have the opportunity to solidify themselves within that intellectual culture because they on the bottom. Whereas the people that come and work for a small percentage of the same job where an American will get more is basing it on that intellectual culture because they're the Brahmins. Just like you, Vivek. So the MAGA maniacs didn't like that. You were at the forefront. They don't count Elon because, he's white. Let's just keep it real. So we had to promptly kick you in the ass out the door of this whole Doge situation, and we'll give you another job. And that's just a fact. So that's what we're looking at, folks. But my whole argument is that when it comes to populism and how we define it, there is no difference. And if you're going to use that philosophy, You can't equate it left or right because it's not a cultural issue. It's an issue of what standards, what political, I guess you would say, advantages that we have as American people. Now, you may disagree with the cultural positions behind why we feel this way. The MAGA maniac will say, oh, we just don't want the brown people here, or, let's get them out. Whereas the quote unquote economic or the leftist populace will say it's about classism and workers' rights, blah, 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 this and that. That's the same thing Bernie do. Hell, Bernie don't even want to talk about the cultural aspects of why he think the way he think. He's smart enough to say, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. I just want equal pay for all and minimum wage increase and blah. Soon as somebody say something about black and white, Bernie go into the shadows like the cartoon, and you don't see him no more because he's smart enough to know, oh, I ain't gonna play that game. Yeah, that's Bernie right there. He get the hell on because he knows that there has to be a cultural reason behind why people feel the way they feel. Bernie don't want to deal with that, but a person like Steve Bannon will. So there's no difference between a Bernie Sanders and a Steve Bannon. That's a fact from the populist standpoint. But we'll get into it on a later date.
I want to get one thing. I agree totally, and that's why Bernie's only getting the side dish. But I will say this. Well, no, I will ask this. You said I was partially right. But you didn't mention anything that I was wrong about. So what's the partial for?
Yeah, I said in the beginning you were partially right because I agree with your standpoint as it pertains to the reasonings behind said H-1B differences of opinion as it pertains to the two groups. What I'm saying, you're partially right as far as you didn't put emphasis on the cultural differences between why people feel that this is the problem. And you did a Bernie Sanders. A lot of people don't want to talk about that cultural difference and why they feel the way they feel. When Bernie talks about economic or social, what was it called? Democratic socialism. He doesn't want to talk about that cultural aspect because he knows it's there for sure. Bernie ain't stupid. He knows it's there. He knows that he doesn't want to have a division between why people feel the way they feel. He wants to go the route that populism is only there for the benefit of the American people at large. But the American people don't all get to that same goal from the same road. We travel different roads. Bernie feels that we shouldn't have to talk about the lanes that we travel. We just need to talk about the goal, basically. Whereas a person like Steve Bannon, you're right. I'm not. Mike is right. Okay,
I'm right. I just didn't go deep enough for you, is what you're saying.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, so I'm still
Basically,
right. Okay,
yeah.
Continue. I just had to, because me not being right, it just threw my whole day off. I didn't understand what that meant. But now that I get what you're saying, you didn't mean I was wrong. You just meant I didn't go deep enough. I totally understand it now. It makes perfect sense.
Okay, cool. All right. Whereas a Steve Bannon will clearly talk about the roads traveled on both sides, if that make any sense, Venkat.
Yeah, I get you. Is Vivek
and Chink Unger do the same thing? No, because Vivek is only talking through a perspective that he knows. He's not. Everybody ain't the same. How can we? And this is why I don't play that education game, because somehow we or the people that think like that believe that if the work ethic change from a more intellectually cultural aspect to how we just view not just society as a whole, that we won't have to worry about H-1B and blah 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 this and that. That's wrong, because everybody, first of all, is socially different from a social capital standpoint. I always argue with Trevor about this. The same goes for his people. As a matter of fact, it's more impacted with Indians because they on a clear caste system. So a person that's on the lower caste of society in India cannot, in no shape or form, put screech over everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like this dumb shit he said. That's impossible. They can't do it. They don't have the capital to do it. How the hell am I supposed to go to a damn a math Olympiad every week. That costs money.
Right.
So he's full of shit, is what I'm telling you. The
So
people, the Indians that come here are the new model minority. That's a fact. They have the infrastructure to do the stuff that they do as it pertains to their kids. They got that. We don't. And I'm talking about from an American standpoint. We don't, because we're working class people.
well, the Republicans are always talking about cutting education, underfunding, all this stuff. So they don't want to invest in the American people. Because if you invested, you would be highly educating everybody from the get-go. So their answer to this is, let's pluck people from international areas that are already ready to go, and we totally avoided paying the cost to get our own people, and we could just get ready-made people to come in and work, and they probably command less money than if they came from America in the first place. So it's like a win-win for all the corporations all over the place.
Why are you trying to act like this is new? This is what they did to black people back in the day. You pull a couple of them up, then you get them up, you make them look good, and then they hate on the rest. The only problem is there's too many blacks that are good now, so they had to move on to Spanish. Then there's too many Spanish that are good now, so they got to go out the country, because you can't let a high percentage of them get too much money. You don't hear what they're doing with the NBA now? They got a bunch of, one of LeBron's crew is trying to start like a international NBA type organization. That's what happens when you let
Oh
too many of
yeah,
the darkies get uppity. You
yeah.
let too many of them get uppity, they start thinking big thoughts. You got to keep them, you got to keep a low percentage, 5 to 10% of the darkies can get some money. But once they start trying to get their money together, you got to start separating them. You got to start, hey, I saw this one pee on somebody. Hey, this one like to sing songs in the rain. Hey, this one like to do that. That's why you see the celebrity hate coming out of nowhere. Then now they're going to start with the Indians. Let's bring the Indians in here. Let the Indians. They're kind of darky, but they're kind of white too. We're going to build them up. Then when you get a Indian Elvis, we're going to have to calm it down. We have to go get some Asians. Let's bring some K-pop. That's all it is. They just spreading out the bullshit until Jesus coming and they go about their business. They don't, bro. It's the same playbook.
But here's the difference, though. Here's the difference, though, when it comes to the. Yeah, I was saying here's the difference when it comes to the Indian, though. There is no crab in the barrel mentality when it comes to the Indian, because all of them, from a class standpoint, are the same. There is no upward mobility that'll be different from one Indian to another. They already done did that in their own country.
Oh no,
they
Mr.
weeded
MD.
out. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mr. MD. I know we have a lag. I'm not cutting you off on purpose. The difference is all they have to do is pick from the bottom cast. Pick from the bottom cast, bring them over here, make them the big cast over here. Then they can't go back home or be seen as worthy back home, but they're respected. It's the same thing with Pacquiao. Pacquiao was a piece of trash over in the Philippines till he came over here and became da-da-da-da. Now the working people saw Pacquiao as the shit, but there was no cast in place so he could move up. He could move up. He can use his finances and his fame to move up. You can't do that in the caste system. So it's just going to cause friction back home in India. So there already is a pre-made system to cause chaos over there, which is going to make it look better over here. But then we're not going to let too many over. So we're making it looks like a place to come out, but they're still going to have to stay there. So it's going to cause friction over there. You see what I'm saying? It's just what causes the most.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just what causes the most friction and chaos for white supremacy to stay where it is. That's all it is.
But this is what I'm saying, though. In theory, what you're saying is correct. What I'm saying is from an education, because all of this is about education.
Right.
These people that come over here on H-1B visas, for the most part, had some form of education from their own country. The lower caste people don't have that opportunity there. America can't do nothing about that. So let me be clear. I'm a capitalist. I have no issue with the H-1 visa program. I don't. As a capitalist by proxy, I'm a globalist. Wherever you can get to work is where you can get to work. A free market is a global thing. It ain't something that's nationalized. So let me get that out the way. Second of all, if we're talking about bringing over people this is the tech industry that we're talking about. from the tech industry standpoint, if you're bringing in specialized work dealing with the tech industry, you have to have some form of education. That education, from an entry level standpoint, is being done in India, and they may expound on their education when they get over here. The lower class don't have that opportunity. They
Oh
making
no, no.
slut buckets on the side of the road in India. That's just
I
what it is.
I thoroughly understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is they're going to hand pick a few of them who have nothing, no education, no nothing, bring them over, boost them up for no reason other than their future prospects of effery.
Mike, it sounds like you talking about Squid Game.
Hey, you don't want to start me on Squid Game because that's a whole nother project. Don't start that. But I'm saying they'll do it. They will do it it's the same thing with Black Americans. You remember when Black Americans, when we had towns across America, we had towns, we had places with doctors and teachers and lawyers and all that. What did they do? They killed them all. And then they gave the props and the stuff to the people who were bottom bucket feeders. Who they let get rich? They let the pimps, the drug dealers, they can get rich. Oh, we'll cut the head off and pass. Whenever he gets uppity, we'll cut the head off and pass it down to the next degenerate. Yeah. That's not who they really went after. They went after the doctors. They went after the lawyers. They went after the people who were legally famous, destroyed them and made them not look viable. They're not doing it now because there's no reason to, because all Indians are seen as the same for now. But there's always another depth to go. And that when the Indians, right now, the Indians feel like they the ish. They're coming over. You ever hear the people go, oh, when you have a doctor, oh, if my doctor's name isn't Patel, I don't want to go to him. Yeah, that's when they start feeling themselves. Once they start feeling
Patel
themselves
brothers.
too much, they're going to be like, okay, these upper caste Gandhi dudes, we're going to get them out the way. We're going to get the people that Gandhi spit on. We're going to bring them over here. And now there's a civil war over here. And there's a civil war over there. Because the lower caste comes over here, they're not going to be low caste over here. They're going to fight back. And when they get popping over here, they're going to go back and show. You remember what they used to do? The runaway slave get away? And then Harriet come back. Hey, man, I got a pool at my house. Y'all better come on. Okay, I'm being facetious. I'm just saying. Then they're going to come back to it. They're going to go back to India and be like, hey, y'all don't have to live like this. I'm going to grab a couple people I'll mess with and I know. Let's come to America. Let me build y'all up. Now, when you go back, you're like, F the caste system. I'm pulling my people. The dude on the side of the road in what was that movie that I love? That he took his eyes out and made him a beggar.
Took his eyes out.
Yeah, remember he made the little kid blind. The How to Be a Millionaire show in India. 1 million.
Okay, yeah. Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah, they gonna go back and get all them slum dogs and bring them back over. I'm trying to. You know what? Maybe I see white supremacy and racism in a way that the rest of you don't. I don't think there is any depths they won't go to stay in power.
I believe you on that one.
You feel me? When I read about what they used to do to slaves, when I read about buck breaking, when I read about kicking the heads off of black babies, when I read about that woman who they tied upside down and they cut the baby out her stomach and set her on fire, and then when she didn't die, they target practice with her head and kicked her baby's head. When I read about that, and then I read what was the crime she did, the only crime she did was complain about her husband being lynched the day before. And that they used to gather around as families, 1,500 people at Pop to watch them burn and lynch niggas and cut their ears off. And that's where the first teeth replacement came from snatch them out of niggas' mouths. Yeah, I got nigger teeth, let's go. That's what, it was a fun game for them.
Yep.
And those people are still alive. The children of those people are alive. One of them owns the Dallas Cowboys. I do not see there being a place they won't go to. I don't see it. So anything I say to some people is like, oh, Mike's crazy. To me, it's just the next step. That's it.
Murr, you mentioned Uppity. We do have the original Uppity on the panel. I do need to go to 2 videos that were requested. So I'm going to lead with Uppity Negro Cardi is the G. But this is a video that was requested. This is about, I never heard the terminology before. Trevor said the same thing. An unhoused man, got ran over. Let's segue into this, and we're gonna start with Ricardo on the other side.
I asked around.
The city of Atlanta has confirmed one of its vehicles ran over a man at a homeless encampment in downtown Atlanta, and it's raising some questions about how the city treats unhoused people. 11 Alive's Karis Belger is live on Old Wheat Street where this happened. Karis, what are we learning about the kind of vehicle this was and what happened?
Well, witnesses are saying it was a bulldozer, but the city has not confirmed what kind of vehicle was used. And just to give you an idea of where all of this happened, we're right across the street from Ebenezer Baptist Church. Atlanta police confirmed to 11 Alive they received a call around noon about an injured person at this location. They say that person was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead. Now, we do not know the name of the victim yet. However, the Fulton County medical examiner did confirm it was a male. He was a male in his mid-40s. The city confirmed it was their vehicle that was involved, but did not give many more details other than to say they were cooperating with police. And witnesses tell 11 Alive the vehicles arrived and began moving things from the area, but no one checked to see if all of the tents were in fact empty. Now, people who live nearby and who know the victim say all of this could have been avoided.
But you feel like, say, we're not acceptable in society. You dawn on us that you just took a life, and it don't matter. They going home. Nobody's out here from the police department. Nobody is out here from anywhere to talk about what happened.
Now, the Department of Public Works did release a statement. It said in part the city does routinely clear out homeless encampments that are a public health or safety risk. I also want to add there is a vigil planned for later today at 4 p.m. for the victim. We do understand his family will be in attendance. In the Old Fourth Ward, I'm Karis Belger, 11 Alive News.
Karis, thank you.
All right, we're back. Mike, you were saying something as the video was playing.
No, I just said I asked around and I did hear that Cardi is G.
All right. So Cardi is G. Your thoughts on the video we just saw, sir?
Yeah. So I'm just going by what I saw in the video. Basically, somebody ran over a homeless person. This was the Baptist, so it was Ebenezer somewhere. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this, but this is those things that is always, a thing where people are on fire, being shot at, being disgruntled at. It's unfortunate. It's always a situation where you're like, okay, what is the issue here? Is it like someone just to these people? Very unfortunate event, by the way. I don't even know what else about this other than why. What is the gripe here? What is the issue? Do you have some kind of grievance against homeless people? Do something to you? Is it that you can't stand that they're in an unfortunate situation? I don't know, but what callous way to go in terms of like trying to prove a point? You're gonna run over an encampment just because, you know what I'm saying? But again, this is the America we live in, and unfortunate as it is, this is gonna just get over because everybody's gonna forget about this in the next 2 days because TikTok and everything else is more relevant than people being run over. And then homeless encampment. Very sad to say, but this is 2025. Nothing surprising anymore.
All right. Thanks, Ricardo. Mike, what do you think about that story we just saw about the unhoused man getting ran over?
All right. First, I want to ask, because I believe I'm the one that sent this to y'all. Is the second video the one with the cops?
One with the second video is the one with the Chicago mayor.
Okay, good. Because I want to reference the cops. This means absolutely nothing. I don't know why people are shocked. I don't know why people are dismayed. All it takes is for you to send send a couple of guys to walk through an encampment and yell, "Ew, yep, we about to come through and knock this down. Or you need to get up." That's all they got to do. These people just looked and said, "Ain't nobody out there. Run this over," because they don't care and they know they won't get in trouble. It's the same thing that happened with the police. Did you guys not see the video of the white and the black cop who got called to a park and they saw a man? They got called to a park, said a man with a gun was going to hurt himself. They went there, saw the man had shot himself in the head, saw that he was breathing, looked at him, said, it's too close to the end of our shift. We'll come do this later." Left and then came back and acted like they just found him.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the only reason we know that is because one of them was too stupid to make sure his body cam wasn't on. You
Yeah.
guys
Thanks, Obama.
Yo, exactly. Yo, it's amazing how the only reason we know the depths and depravity of police is because some of them are idiots. That's it. If they were smart, we would still be going under the belief that police are great people. It's insane. My
Yep.
my blue chip, the fifth member of my MIR crew says it best. It doesn't matter what the denomination is, it doesn't matter what the group you're a part of. Most of you are dirtbags. And that's just what it is. Most of whatever group we're talking about are dirtbags. Most of the presidents were dirtbags. Most women are dirtbags. Most
Yeah.
pastors are dirtbags. Most
Peter.
clergy are dirtbags. Most
Shut up.
men are dirt. It is what it is. I don't care what the group is. Most
Facts.
kids are dirtbags, and they grow up to be dirtbag adults.
Facts.
I know it because I went to school with them bastards.
Facts.
I know it. So I don't know why people are freaked out that's what annoys me the most. I'm better off with, yeah, we killed him. He ain't really got nobody to care about him, so we ain't really give a damn. I'm better off with that than the fake outrage and the 25 minutes of caring on TV and then people go on about their business. I have a friend who's like my first Republican homie, my first black Republican homie. And I tell everybody the reason I can be friends with him is because he's like MD. He has what he believes and he sticks to it. There's no wavering unless you bring logic. Then he'll go, okay, that makes sense. Let me incorporate that into my belief structure. Because that's how I move. So I can rock with him. And you know what his favorite thing to do is? His favorite thing to do to black people is to wait, let's say 3 months after some big thing happens. And then he goes, yep, it's been about 2 months. Haven't seen anybody post about George Floyd. I thought y'all were all outraged. What happened? And you will die when you see these, oh, no, I was, man, you were ass. I'm like, don't get mad at him. It's the truth. When I come out, I say a little something, that's what I love about him, because he'll single me out. He'd be like, only my dog Mike was over there saying this about that. Only my dog Mike was talking about that girl that got locked in the freezer. The rest of y'all, I thought y'all were outraged. Y'all got mad at me. Y'all mad at Mike when Mike said y'all ain't gonna give a shit. Y'all just proved it. All you care about is your 20-minute cycle. And it shows why propaganda is what it is. And it shows why people are lemmings and why I think this country is over. I don't understand. And I can't believe I'm the only one that sees it. I can't be. I can't be. You guys are too smart not to see this. Now, I let Venkat out the way because he's just an eternal sycophant optimist. So I let him go. He can't help it. He wants to see the good in everyone. So I just let him go. You know what I'm saying? You can't. He sees rainbows and bubbles. He's like, oh, it died, but at least its carcass is going to make flowers. Like, that's Venkat. You know what I'm saying? We just leave Venkat alone, let him be. Because you need counterbalance. You need someone opposite of me so the world don't just spontaneously combust. I get that. I get that. But the rest of y'all out there, how do y'all not see what's happening? How do y'all not just look and go, oh, my God, I got to get to Cuba with Tupac. I got to get out of here. America's Rome is burning down. I gotta get away. Tupac, he was trying to show us the way. Get to Cuba. He was trying to tell us, and nobody's listening. Everybody's really trying to make like pancakes out of this garbage batch of nonsense. I don't understand. It's insanity to me. It's insanity. No one really cares. So stop trying to make me feel bad for being who I am. I call bullshit. That's me. And you
Well,
want to know what? It's funny. That's why I'm always right.
of course
People
you're
get
right.
mad. Why do you think you're always right? Because I call bullshit, and bullshit is usually what it is. I'm done.
Well, thoughts, but thoughts can be things too, right? So at the end of the day, a thought could then definitely turn around and say, "Hey, I'm Mary Magdalene, and I'm reborn again, and I am holier than thou," because no longer a thought. But that's a whole other story for a different time frame. It's just the remember, everyone on the panel, your former president that got booed yesterday did give us the audacity of hope, right? He said there should be something we could believe in, and there's still hope in this great nation that we live in, and in the Obama spurned voice, we can overcome and do the most. It's one of those things. I mean, you always have to cling to some form of hope because it's the only thing human beings do best is to cling to hope. In disparity and in despair and in when everything starts failing, and it's either there's going to be prayer, faith, or hope. It's one of those things that we always cling to because when everything seems pessimistic, you have to have some optimistic point of view looking at the side of things. The periphery has to show some format of, okay, maybe there's a bright side, maybe there's something that I could believe in, maybe there's
Yep.
And
Yep.
Hollywood is in for this because Hollywood always gives us, oh, the aliens are going to annihilate the whole entire earth, but maybe the germs from the human beings will destroy them and kill them off. It's always that one slither of hope somewhere, what we all cling to. So you can't blame us, twin, for having some kind of like, all right, it looks terrible right now. We know he's gonna come in and destroy the entire thing that we all saw for 8 years. But somewhere along the lines, there might be hope. Maybe, just maybe, lightning might strike, and it just might just do something. That's what the human psyche does. It always is.
Oh, you know what the problem is? I get it.
The
Oh, go ahead,
thing,
Venkat.
I just wanted to say this real quick. So the the thing is, if it was a smarter person, a more diligent, focused person, and not Donald Trump, then yeah, it would be bleak as hell. What keeps the hope in this is that he's so goddamn incompetent and so self-serving and narcissistic that the failures will come. Look at the Congress and the Republican Party in general, how they had to go through different leaders and how they tried to pass certain things and it never got passed. Like the sheer Three Stooges element of the Republican Party and stuff that they do, they'll hit some blows and we'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. But guarantee you to me, they're gonna be frigging up royally because they're just not built like that efficiently to do things that matter like that. So
Venkat,
I'm telling you.
Venkat,
Go
this
ahead.
man has failed up his
Yeah.
entire life.
Yeah.
He has had so many businesses that were shit, so many businesses that failed, and he's a billionaire. You just told me that the man put out a coin and they all got wealthy off of the BS coin and screwed over the American people. If there's anything he excels at, it's using his evil to screw over others to make money. And you think having money isn't going to fix all his failures?
We'll
You
see.
think him being willing to be a degenerate piece of garbage won't fix all his failure? You keep somebody needs to slap the Lucky Charms out of your mind. You got too much rainbows and flowers and bubbles. That's not how it works. The best person doesn't always win. And this is what you guys forgot. You were like, oh, there's hope, and there's maybe the germs will this, that, and this, that, and the germs will kill the aliens and that's because when in a movie, there's one villain and then there's us. In real life, there's a shit ton of villains. And the germ that might save everyone, there's another villain who made the antidote to kill that germ because it would make him $50 million. and that germ's dead. And then the other thing that could have cured cancer, the guy got rid of that because it cut into his margins. And then the AIDS vaccination, the people who make AIDS medication, that guy has the cure locked in his basement because he doesn't want to cut his margins. Everything good, there's a villain toward it. And all the villains come together at a little Red Reddington cafe, and they eat and laugh about how broken dead the rest of us are. And then they get their heads cut off and frozen so they can come back like a movie or something. I don't know, but I'm just saying, there is no hope. Hope, you know what hope is? Hope is a stripper in Milwaukee. That's all hope is. Y'all need to let Obama fool you. Well, guess what? Obama was trying to get elected, and it worked because he's a villain too.
Facts.
He just smiles a lot, and he looks like a nigga in your family that loaned you $20 when you were 5.
You gonna leave
and
little,
never ask for it back. That's all it is. But all right, go ahead. My bad.
No,
All right. So MD, your thoughts on this?
Yeah. So I grew up in Atlanta, right? This is what they say. They say the worst nigga that you could ever find is a nigga that work for the government. That's just a saying. I remember an old quote in the movie "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker." This is what Kalinga said. Kalinga said they went down to take the federal building over, but they
came out with jobs, government jobs.
He said they went in with guns, and they came out with jobs. The brothers weren't mad no more, and that's what I've been dealing with my whole life.
You remember Undercover Brother?
How many count? Oh yeah, yeah.
He was super about it till he got his white girl.
Oh yeah, and started eating the mayonnaise sandwich.
Yes, sir.
That's when he was compromised after the mayonnaise.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so yeah, man, and Atlanta is a black owned and operated city. It ain't no place of high authority you can go and not see no black person. But with that comes to what we was talking about in the earlier segment. The uppityism, the nonchalantness of everybody that you feel as though is beneath you from a society standpoint. Them city of Atlanta workers did not give a damn if anybody was there or not. Because they took pride in what they was doing that day. Guarantee you. They took pride in it. We may look at it as just a lowly city of Atlanta labor job, whatever. When whoever got behind that bulldozer did not give a single damn if nobody was there or not. I can almost guarantee it. Not saying that they went there with the intent to off somebody. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the overall outlook of getting this encampment out the way and saying that I'm the person that's gonna do it, of these low life scumbag homeless people. I take pride in that. Now here's the real dumbassery of it all. And to a more poignant point, the quote unquote family that was at the vigil the other day. Now, I don't know the circumstance of why this person was homeless. He could have been a drug addict. I don't know. That's not for me to say because now he's not deceased. I'm not going to do that. But I find it kind of funny that they're going to make sure that they're going to be front and center of that vigil because the amount of money that the city is about to get ready to pay to the immediate family member.
Oh man,
is about to be enough to give shelter to every homeless person in Atlanta. And that's just the dumbassery of this whole situation. Now, I'm an individualist. Everybody know that. But I'm not to the point where I can't believe, especially right now, it's cold as hell in Georgia. Cold as hell. I can only imagine the people that's out on the street right now. I can't imagine it. So what responsibility, and this more to a Venkat talking point, what responsibility do we have as people? Bump government, bump all that. What responsibility do we have as people to make sure that at the very least, these people got somebody to somewhere to lay their head? And you not even have the recognition as them as a person to make sure that they can get up their belongings, whatever the situation may be. You're just gonna bring the bulldozer in and sweep it all away as if it's no problem at all. As another black person, because I'm 100% sure that was a black person that was sitting behind the wheel of that bulldozer. I can guarantee it. But again, we got this mentality, especially in places where it's black owned and operated. Like I said, that when we get in these positions, it's like we're not necessarily superior, but overseeing the rest of black society, and that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You a nigga that got a government job. Whoop-de-damn do. That job don't make you more less of a person than me. So, unfortunately, again, going back to the points we were talking about in the earlier segment, these are the things that we have to face because we were socially engineered to be that way. And I think that's part of the problem.
I like to agree. Well done. Well said.
All right. Thank you, MD. So let's go. We got a lame duck coming, but let's go into this next requested video. Has to do with Chicago and its mayor. We're going to get our thoughts on the other end of this video.
You all sit up there and said you will not allow Trump to come in here and get these illegals. Yeah, you can smile. We're in $1 billion deficit. And you spent half of our money, half of that on illegals. You campaigned and doubled down that you would not raise property taxes.
I won't raise your property taxes.
You wanted to raise our taxes $300 million. They shut it down. Now we back here for $150 million. Okay. See, this is what we asking now. Since you want to crash out, some of y'all said y'all willing to go to jail for it. Trump, Tom Homan, make an example out this Negro right here first. Please come here first, because you know what? We're going to help you. We want to forensic.
Ma'am, I would ask that you keep your, hold on a second, stop her time. Just a second. Stop her time. Ma'am, I would ask that you, if you want to continue speaking, you have to make sure that your language is appropriate, okay? All right.
We got Alex.
Okay, you can begin her time again.
You're going to spend our tax dollars to go, Michael Rodriguez, you said to take Trump to court to protect these illegals. That's cool, because we about to make all of y'all aldermen famous. Y'all think this is how it's going to ride? I think not. Flip Chicago red. We not playing.
This was going to happen to you. You got Cash Patel and Pam Bundy that you're going to have to deal with sooner than later. Then it's going to be an audit. Next, it's going to be an investigation. Then it's going to be an indictment. Conviction. That's what's going to happen to you.
Mr. Brandon Johnson, I'm up here. I am speaking right now, so I would love your undivided attention, please. I'll wait. So this just proves to you the lack of leadership that you show in this city. You can't even give me straight eye contact. Now, I'm going to let you know now, the people of Chicago, we're done with you. It is insane how we have been voting Democrat for over 60 plus years, and we've never seen a change from people like you, Lori Lightfoot, Rob Emanuel. It is insane. Chicago was 37% red. In 2020, it was only 15%. So we're waking up. So you can pretend that this isn't happening, but I know for a fact that you will not have that seat the next election.
You so strong about protecting those aliens, but you won't do nothing for the U.S. citizens. I got a great way how we can what we can do with this budget. First, let's start with cutting off illegals, getting free everything. free housing, free schooling, free food. Yeah, let's start with that. That'll save us a lot of money. What, $600 million? Let's start there. Then let's start with your salary. You are going down in history as the worst mayor in America. Let's start with cutting yours. You making too much money. Let's start there. You Democrats, and remember you told us to defund the police? Remember, you ran on that. Remember, you was the defund the police? Let's start with that. Let's defund the police detail that you have. And let's put the police back in our neighborhood, because we're not for defunding the police. Won't you just practice what you preach? Remove all the details. We saw you coming in today. You had all the police presence.
Mayor Johnson, we see in LA how an incompetent mayor can burn a city to the ground. A lot of Chicagoans are telling me that they fear that you're burning Chicago to the ground financially, and the S&P downgrade is proof of that. You say that you're surrounded by the greatest financial minds in the country, yet your vice mayor, who's standing right next to you, Alderman Burnett, is a convicted bank robber.
Before we continue, just so we're all on the same page, this guy right here is Alderman Burnett, and he served 2 years in prison for his role in a bank robbery in 1981. And in case you didn't hear, the city just suffered a credit downgrade. Let's keep going, because this is about to get good.
To add insult to injury.
Sir, I need you to ask your question, please.
Yeah, I will. I know you don't like my questions,
no,
but
it's not
to
that I
answer
don't
your
like your question. Just ask the question, and let's try to avoid being insensitive as well as dismissive.
I think bank robbery is insensitive, but
ask your question.
That's a difference of opinion, perhaps. Your wife, for example, to add insult to injury, spent $80,000 taxpayer dollars remodeling a, quote, First Lady office. She sits on a $5,000 First Lady chair, yet no one that I've interviewed so far has any idea what she's doing. Yeah. The question, before you cut my mic apparently, is what have you learned, if anything, from Los Angeles Mayor Bass's incompetence?
You know, as we work to bring the city of Chicago together and our country together, it's important that we stand in support of the families that have experienced loss in Los Angeles. The horrific terrorist attack that happened in New Orleans. Our thoughts and our prayers and our efforts have to be to ensure that as a nation that we come together, and that we don't use these moments of tragedy to further invoke divide.
You said that you're sending Alderman Burnett on a city travel mission. Can I ask what that mission is, where it is, how much it's going to cost the people of Chicago, and what is the presumed benefit of this travel mission?
Yeah, the mission is to build a better, stronger, safer Chicago and to invest in people.
But where is Alderman Burnett going? And yeah, well, I'm just wondering, I mean, can we know where he's going and how much this is costing Chicagoans? We're not allowed to know?
There is a new move to recall Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. The first attempt, you may remember, came from a Chicago resident, an average citizen. But this next one comes from Springfield. NBC5's Chula Wachahusky got the mayor's reaction to this today.
As he joined a cavalcade of public officials welcoming a $1.9 billion federal investment in the CTA's Red Line extension, Mayor Brandon Johnson brushed off what have been increasing calls for him to be recalled.
As far as, people introducing legislation, that's their job to do that.
Late Thursday night, Representatives Anthony DeLuca and LaShawn Ford introduced HB 1084, calling for a clear and effective process to conduct recall elections in cities like Chicago.
People are asking for it. It's not something that I thought of myself. It's something that constituents asked for in 2015 after the Laquan McDonald's tape was released.
At the time, Ford's bill, which he has introduced every year since, was aimed at Mayor Rahm Emanuel. There is already a grassroots effort underway to collect the more than 56,000 signatures necessary to force a recall. The man behind that movement is Dan Boland.
Every day that the mayor is in office is a master class in why
a Chicago mayoral recall mechanism is needed.
The mayor's office is still reeling after questions were raised about his status as an on-leave member of the Chicago Teachers Union and his involvement in contract talks, as well as criticism from the governor's office about his relationship with Springfield.
The good thing about the work that we do in the city of Chicago, a perception of one individual doesn't define the entire city of Chicago. I will say this, though, the city of Chicago has gotten better, stronger, and safer.
In Pullman, Charlie Wojciechowski, NBC5 News.
Thanks to Charlie.
All right, there we go. Look, oh man, Mike left. My goodness, I need him on the lame duck. All right, so MD, we'll start with you. What do you think about this video we just looked at with the Chicago mayor and his corruption?
So, again, all last year I had conversations talking about Mayor Johnson in Chicago and you know these fringe group of Negroes coming in with brim, Make America Great Again hats and props and all type of stuff. These people been around, you know, no question about it. I never disputed their grievance about how they felt about the mayor and the conductance of what was going on in the city as far as operation. I never did that. What I said was, why did y'all vote for him in the first place? Overwhelmingly, by the way. When the main grievance that y'all have, which is immigration, which is fine, acceptable. I'm not saying nothing wrong with it. The main grievance he promoted and campaigned on during the mayoral cycle in Chicago. Now, hey, if he campaigned on a particular promise, as he said in the video about property taxes, and now he's proposing an increase in property taxes, hey, have at it. Get him up out of there. I ain't got no issue. But what I'm saying is the overall aspect of the grievance of the people, as spoken by the Friends group, immigration was the focal point. He campaigned on it, Venkat. We had this conversation already before. And you may win in as a Trojan horse as it pertains to the refocusing of the budget in that particular meeting, which that was about. But you brought up the previous grievance. That's what you did. I don't, again, the facts still remain. I don't put no onus on any of these people. Hell, it only looked like it was about 4 or 5 people because the one lady in the red shirt spoke again. So obviously wasn't nobody at the damn meeting. Let's just keep it a buck. Wasn't nobody at the meeting, okay? Except for these Negroes in Trump shirts. You know what I'm saying? Like 4 or 5 of them. So, like, what are we talking about here? That's what I got out of it. I'm not saying that there is some things to discuss as it pertains to Johnson. I'm not saying that at all. It's a clear level of corruption there. Why would the mayor still be on the teachers union? That would indicate tenure as it pertains to some type of I'm not saying more or less employment, but tenure in regards to another industry. Mayors don't supposed to do that at all. So yes, there is a level of corruption there. Get his ass out. I got no issue with that. But the main grievance that me and you both know, Venkat and Ricardo, y'all Negroes said y'all were trying to get the Venezuelans up out of Chicago, which is fine. But that should have been the onus of the main majority of the voting bloc when he was running for mayor of Chicago. And it wasn't. And don't sit here and lie like it was, because it wasn't. That's my whole thing with it. Again, and it's a sad situation because I'm sick and tired of seeing Black people in leadership constantly being in this type of situation.
Yep. All over the world.
Sick of it, man. Like why are we tied to corruption when it comes to government? Why? It's because these Negroes don't see the job that they face as something that's supposed to be there to provide protection, legal continuity, any of that as it pertains to government. Nigga, you there because you want a higher position and you there for the money. Let's just keep it above. Let's just keep it above. And that's what gives a lot of these people the green light to try to push this conservative narrative when it comes to black people. That's why. Friends group, yet and still. But it's gaining more and more steam because we got Negroes like Brandon Johnson. Negroes like Adams, who won the investigation. Sick of it, man. I just let the white folks run it, if that's what y'all gonna do. I'm sick of it. And it give people like me a bad name because I try my damnedest to provide some sort of education as it pertains to constitutional law, governmental status, et cetera, et cetera. But you can't do it when the nigga see a government position as a superior or almost like a gatekeeper status, all damn near. And then get the money up under the table. It don't matter where you are in the country. Every nigga do it. And I'm sick of it. And that's what I got to say about that.
All right, thanks, MD. Ricardo, what are your thoughts here on this Chicago mayor, his corruptions, and what do you see for Chicago down the road?
Yeah, there's something to be said about, and I kind of agree with MD's. Well, not kind of. I agree wholeheartedly with his sentiments as well. It's very sad whenever you have a Negro in terms of because we have to be very blunt in perspective. A black man always whether it be the first black mayor of Baltimore or just the first black mayor in anything or that, there's always some corruption tied to something, and it's a little bit benign and annoying after a while, because like MD says, if that's the case, we'll just make white folks run things and y'all complain to them after the fact, because it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, the whole video, I mean, the woman wasn't wrong entirely in terms of her sentiments of what she was sharing. I just felt like she was a little bit distorting the facts and ballooning a lot of figures, which makes sense. I mean, 600 million, and it's like, where is their proof of what you're saying? But you know, that's nearer there. All in all, I this whole thing, and not for nothing, Chicago has its disparities. I mean, you cannot ignore the gun crime issue that it faces, but which other city doesn't? I mean, there's quite a plethora of cities that are going through the same thing, whether it be Milwaukee, whether it be Detroit, whether it be Los Angeles, whether it be Miami, whether it be Memphis, you know what I'm saying? Like it could go down the list. I find it very when you have, you know, one of us running the show, and it's like there's so much dissonance and issues, and it's like, for once, can we just have somebody just be from our side? You know, you don't want to turn on the news and be like, oh, get you any money, it's, oh yeah, I'm proving. It's like I need someone to be a holy saint person from our side to just do things right for once, and just have, you know, things just fall into place where it needs to be falling in place for. I'm sick and tired of it. It's like at this particular point now, I just say, you know, what are we complaining for? And then, you know, what's his name? What's his name in New York that was also a part of the Trump thing? I'm assuming that he's looking for a partner for from New York. What's his face?
You talking about Giuliani?
No,
I'm talking about Adams.
Adams. That's a whole story. He literally,
Yeah.
you remember
Adams
when
he a MAGA maniac now.
You remember hearing when he said, oh, if y'all gonna do this to me, well, guess what? Well, join Trump's side, and I'm gonna do, and he verbatim, word for word, that he was gonna be joining Trump's. So it didn't surprise me, but then a lot of people are locked in the end. Like, no, he literally told you this 2 months ago. So I think all in all of this, I'm sitting back just to watch the shit show that we're beginning to see many in front of our eyes. Not very surprising and all, very disappointing of the things that we know people should know about. You know, notoriety, fame, and glory, and sucking up and ass kissing and daddies and all this bull crap that we're seeing is like really people like this is what this just to please or ask kiss one man that has literally led the road. Time, you know, I'm not gonna blame him for everything, but listen, again, you choose what you chose and you voted for who you voted for. I don't want to hear any complaints when he started taking or rolling back things like Medicare and Social Security and things that you guys thought were not a necessity and start removing them. Don't complain after. You literally were warned. I cannot stress that enough. But again, falling back to this whole Chicago thing, again, you know, she's not, and all the people that are complaining, they're not without their complaining. But I just feel like this was a effort from MAGA side, and it just screamed a lot of things that are just like, okay, well, you know, walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it is a duck. It's like kind of like, you know, we on the panel know what we see or sense when it comes to certain things. So it doesn't surprise us, but then other people will be like, oh no, you guys are like making up things and you guys, no, it just seems too obvious. You know what I mean? But I digress. It is what it is.
All right, thanks, Ricardo. So, yeah, I mean, she's that lady is just going all in with MAGA, and I guess that's supposed to be the answer. I don't know how that will be the answer. And you can't really trust anything. Everything is a staged theatrical performance these days. There's no genuine stuff at all. Kind of like that lady that was in Chick-fil-A talking about, oh, I'll tell my mom I made it. And the whole time she had been connected with the Republican Party the whole time. So I agree with Ricardo. You can't really. I feel no faith in what we're seeing there. And that could just be more propaganda. But Chicago need to figure out who they need to lead them, and they actually need to really look and vet their candidates instead of waiting for the last minute. And then, you know, just like in the presidential election, we don't pay attention to the process, and then we're left with undesirable choices. Need to be involved from the beginning all the way. You can't complain about stuff if you're not participating. Anyway, so we're going to go into it now. It's time for session, time for the lame duck session. We'll see you on the other end on that.
First things first, in this lame duck session.
For the United Nations General Assembly to share the extraordinary progress we've made. In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough.
I started having second thoughts almost the moment I sat down on the plane.
Lights off! Off! Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn off.
We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
So I changed my return flight and flew back on the first available flight I could take.
I'm sick and tired of smart guys.
I'm sick and tired of ordinary people being fleeced.
I'm tired of being quiet.
I'm sick and tired. I'm just sick and tired. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
With great power comes great responsibility.
These lights are so bright in my eyes that I can't see too many people out there. But
I can only see the black ones. I can't see any white ones. You see? That's how far I've come. That's how far I've come. That's a long way, isn't it? You want to see a bird graveyard? You just go. Take a look. A bird graveyard? Go under a windmill someday. You'll see more birds than you've ever seen ever in your life.
Donald say he wants to run for president and move on into the White House. Why not? It wouldn't be the first time you pushed a black family out of their home. So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh?
Just recently, Snoop would commit one of the most well-documented cases of double-sidedness to date.
My mother say, Rose, man, you playing to win tonight, man. You sharp as a mosquito's needle. What's going on? That's that crypto, see? They let a real crip up in the crypto ball. Ooh. Bang, bang.
Where he would perform at an inauguration ball of one of the most polarizing presidents, Donald Trump.
All right, politics real quick. Now, we all hate... I apologize. Nah, I really don't apologize, man, because a lot of my fans get mad at me when I talk bad about him, but I think it's safe to say most people in our culture do not.
Well, you need to know that. You need to know that a lot of your fans is racist. Ain't no don't even try to put no.
I don't even want to put anything around.
I do. I don't give a. I tell them straight up, mother. If you like that racist, you in him. Now what?
All right.
Draw the line, nigga. He drew the lines.
Exactly.
He drew the lines. Before him, there were no lines. Everybody was everybody. We respected everything. We didn't trip. But nigga, when you drew the line and start pointing out and singing.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
You and them.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking
Kanye
about
too. Don't forget about him too. Fuck you too. I just want to say this real quick. I don't know political shit. Ain't no fucking way in the world y'all can vote for Donald Trump when he come back up again. If y'all do vote for him, y'all some stupid motherfuckers. I'm saying that to y'all. And this punk motherfucker don't care. Don't vote for that nigga. Please don't. Look what he do. He just don't give a fuck. Y'all honest, blue-collar, hard-working people and suffering. So if he don't care about y'all, he really don't give a fuck about us. So fuck him too. Fuck everybody down with Donald Trump. I said it, yeah, Snoop Dogg.
This can be seen when he emphatically declared anyone who would do Donald Trump's inauguration as an Uncle Tom.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you niggas gonna do it first? Osby's the one that performs for himself.
A few moments later.
Thank you all for coming to the first crypto ball to celebrate the election and the inauguration of the first crypto president, President Donald J. Trump. The reign of terror against crypto is over. And the beginning of innovation in America for crypto has just begun. Now I want to call out here the main event for tonight. My friend, a great man, great entertainer, Snoop D-O-double-G.
House niggas for sale. 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 I'm a cool ass nigga.
You know, I think that a lot of these rappers are not the intellectuals in the community, as Teray was pointing out, but it's also a dishonor to the black community.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Donald Trump, the man who would refuse to rent to black people in the 1970s, who tried to lead a against 5 black and brown kids in the 1980s for the Central Park case, who refused to allow black casino workers to have a prominent place in his casinos in Atlantic City in the 1990s, who spent 5.5 years lying about Barack Obama's birth certificate in the 2000s, who came into office and then attacked black people like Colin Kaepernick, who attacked Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shay Moss for simply doing their jobs as Fulton County election workers. You dishonor those people when you go and perform for this man who has done nothing but dishonor black people. And just last year, he was calling Haitian immigrants, accusing them of eating cats and dogs. This is not somebody that black people should be associated with and pretending to normalize. We should be challenging him. And it dishonors the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose birthday we honor on Monday, to celebrate this man.
People would take to Twitter to express their disapprovals, but it would be just another mark on the long list of double-sided moves by the artist. It's unclear how Snoop would feel if someone executed the same actions on him, being that it's never clear who or what side he's on.
This is why you don't put your foot in your mouth. You know, Snoop said that he drew the line in the sand and made him pretty much sound non-redeemable the first time, right? But now, there he is performing. Now, I'm not even here to police grown people. Do what you want. I ain't got to agree with everything you do one way or the other. But I do find it funny how some of these guys were standing on one side last time. Now they're standing on the opposite side this time, especially Snoop out in front saying he was going to roast whoever performed there. And it shows that a lot of these people that individuals be worshiping and looking up to, they're opportunistic. So when you're just following whatever they like or whatever they do, they're above reproach. They're never wrong. Hey, you get what you get. And again, I'm not even talking about him being right or wrong for doing it. I'm saying he opened his mouth and said nobody couldn't do it that was of, quote unquote, the culture.
Say, man, you playing to win tonight, man. You sharp as mosquitoes needle. What's going down? That's that crypto, see? They let a real crip up in the crypto ball. Ooh. Bang, bang.
Mr. Glenn Turnbull, please the people.
I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
House niggas for sale. House niggas for sale. House niggas for sale. I'm a cool ass nigga.
Snoop and Nelly are going to be at this thing. And I think it really does beg the question whether the culture is starting to thaw to Donald Trump. I mean, are they?
About time.
I don't think so. Who invited this lady? Who invited this lady to speak on the culture?
He definitely saw a lot of people, Sexy Red, others say, he sent me a check, so I'm good with him, the stimulus check. And I understand that there is that crew of people who are like, the stimmy check came, I like him now. Snoop and Nelly in particular are apolitical people and apolitical artists. Like you see Snoop with Martha Stewart, he's like, I fly over, I want everyone to like me. I think this is more about capitalism than politics. Somebody said, Snoop, it's the crypto ball. We got $250 for you or $150 for one night. Come do 10 songs, 6 songs, whatever. Yeah, I'm there, homie.
House niggas for sale.
There are a lot of rappers who have sided with Donald Trump. for all kinds of. He pardoned several of them.
giving away pardons.
Yeah, I
he was
mean,
giving away pardons to people, and that's why they were endorsing
but
him.
I mean, what's going on there? What is it about these particular?
These are not the intellectuals of hip hop. These are not the except for Kanye. These are typically not political people at all. Like,
which one of you jigaboo ass gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the out one of you Uncle Tom ass for doing it. Which one of you gonna do it first? Osby's the one that performs for himself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There he is. There he is right there. Put the spotlight on SNOOP DOGG, Snoop DZ. Oh, my God. Mr. Others Murr, what are your thoughts on lame duck number 67?
You know, this whole, I'm not surprised. This whole world has shown me that propaganda and money is all that really matters. They will have you believe. Think about it. Snoop Dogg is a person who was on trial for murder that white people hated and now they love. It's like you guys see that it's all propaganda. It's all
Yes, sir.
whitewashing history because they all, if you ask Republicans, they love Martin Luther King.
Nah.
They love Martin Luther King and you know when Martin Luther King was alive, they was the ones throwing the rocks.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm starting to see like there is no the world. Oh my God, this generation is trash, and it's sad for me because this Negro is from my generation, but it just when it comes to people can't be broke once they get money, and that's what I'm seeing. He's not out of it because you know they were saying, oh, Rosé's got money. Rosé was there. Nelly got money. Nelly ain't had a hit. Nelly's so old that one of LeVar Ball's sons made a song that sounded like Nelly, and everybody said it sounded like Cash Money. That's how old he is. They ain't even giving him when he getting bit. His style got bit and they ain't even give it to him. I'm just telling you, I am thrown. I thought the worst two things that were going to happen this year were Trump getting elected and Drake suing because Kendrick Lamar called him a name. But this is right up there. Like I am disgusted. I never thought I would live long enough to see a gang member who still calls his gang out at the ceremony.
Crip walking and all.
You feel me? I'm disgusted.
The man that give us the infamous doggy style. I mean,
you feel me?
Like really, Snoop. I can't even start to cut you in, but
no, go ahead.
One of those things. Well, what is really going on here? Because you remember in the first segment of before the whole, he's like, who do this and run and doing it? Like, really, what are we doing? This is leading us down this path too. Like, this is what we're doing now. I can understand Nelly because Nelly has a baby, but then again, Nelly has kids. But he got his girl back, Ashanti, and now have a brand new baby. So I could understand. A couple of people doing certain things. But Snoop, you are already richy rich. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're the perfect turnaround story. Banger in LA to a man that well invested in terms of having like multiple diverse products. Trump will be tough. You around and then did just to say it's cryptocurrency like this. Twin takeover. I can't. I'm gonna sign out.
See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's propaganda. All these fake ass rich niggas are not rich. That's why Snoop Dogg prostitutes himself out for everything. That's why he's on the Olympics. That's why he's cooning on the Olympics. Hey, I would love to sit there and know the WNBA and look at the Olympics. And they ain't got no money, bro. They're broke. Nelly broke. Ashanti broke. Rick Ross with all his acres of lands and chickens, he broke too. They all broke. They one good down session of the economy from being right back in the hood where they ran from. Ain't none of them got no real money, bro. That's why they're doing the things they do. People don't get it. They say fame comes before fortune. You never get the fortune if you don't learn your lessons. And they never learned their lessons. Snoop been in the game so damn long and he's still making music. If you've been in the game more than 15 years and you still making music, you're a failure. The only time 50 Cent make music is when he got a TV show coming out. The only time Jay-Z make music is if it has to do with something with the Super Bowl. You don't see them making music. If you're in hip hop and you're still making music after 15 years, you didn't learn something. These are all
New
failures, sir.
album Missionary is horrible, by the way, Mike.
Hey,
It's
you
horrible.
feel me? That was his attempt at being a visionary. Oh, I went back and got Death Row. Most of the people that listen to hip hop don't even know what Death Row is. They don't know what Death Row is. Most of them ain't never heard of Doggy Style, much less where Tupac was before he got killed. They don't know that. They don't know. I'm being dead serious. Every time I talk to one of these young people, I say something that I think is common knowledge, and they look at me like I just spoke like gibberish.
So true.
No, I really wish, if Kevin is still here, I really wish he would put out some of the videos that we've made where I say a word and he looks at me like I'm speaking, like he's like, what are you talking about? That's not a word. And then I'm like, yeah, it is a word. And then he looks it up and goes, God, what? That's how they speak. That's how they feel whenever I speak about like anything that happened in the past. They just like, and it makes no sense to me because if you ask me about Al Green, I can tell you something. I can tell you about the Grits incident. If you ask me about Stevie Wonder, I can tell you about his run of 5 classic albums.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I could tell you about him walking into Motown and telling them, hey, y'all gonna fix my contract or you not gonna get it. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. And he put the album down and started playing. And they were like, oh shit, we'll get this nigga anything he want. You want some eyes? We got eyes. That's how good the albums were. They
And
was gonna
this
get Stevie
generation
Wonder
has the
eyes.
internet.
This is what I'm saying. And that's what makes it worse, Van Cat. We didn't have, you know what we had? I'm gonna say these 2 words and everybody on this panel is gonna feel me. We had Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yes.
That's it.
That's
it. And if you lived in a neighborhood where the encyclopedia man was scared to come, you ain't even have that. Because you might have lived if you lived in the hood, that man was like, I'll wait till they go to the store. I'm not going. I'm gonna wait till he goes to Woolworth. You see what I'm saying? I was lucky enough that my mom had me in a middle class place where I could, all right, let's go invent. We'll go knock on these Negroes' door. They don't look scary. Nigga, I had Encyclopedia Britannica. That's it. These niggas got Google in their pocket.
And they still don't know. The funny
don't know nothing.
The funny part is what you mentioned Woolworths, and bet you anybody, most people don't even know Woolworths is what now? Foot Locker.
Y'all
don't even.
That's why I mention it. That's why I say things and don't explain. Because that's how I learned. Mom, I would say something like, Mom, what's this? And she go look it up.
Exactly.
I'm dead serious. That's how I learned. People look at me, how come you're always right? You got all this information. Because my mother made me go look it up. So that's why I say stuff and I don't explain it. I said Woolworths on a dream hoping that somebody goes, what the hell is Woolworths? And then they got to go look it up.
Foot Locker.
And then it can lead them because that's how I learned. I didn't know nothing about no Bob Marley growing up. All I knew was the man sang 3 songs that I liked. One of them was about birds. Then I had to go look it up. And I'm like, oh, he got more than that. He got a whole playlist. They got mixtapes. These niggas don't know, and they don't want to know because, education, they have made it uncool to be smart. And that's what I was telling y'all earlier. What is the first people that they murdered? They killed the smart. When you were slaves, this nigga read, how the hell he know what an octagon is? Kill him. How this nigga know 3 letters? Kill him. When we got freed, we never really been freed, but when we were legally freed and we started having doctors, what they do? bomb those cities. And it was a concerted effort. The CIA was in on it. The government was in on it. The Klan was in on it, just like today. They were all in on it to murder. That's why whenever we got somebody that makes money and looks like they're going to do something, they find a way to get rid of them.
Yep.
Get your hands out of my pocket. And Snoop Dogg had a voice. Snoop Dogg is one of the few people who had a voice that could reach my generation, the younger generation, and the babies. And now he's compromised because I can never respect him again. I thought Drake was going to be the only rapper I couldn't respect for the rest of my life. Now Nelly, Snoop Dogg, and Rose is on that list, and I am saddened. I am saddened. In a week where a rapper sued another rapper or sued another rapper's company for calling him a name, even after that rapper called the other rapper a woman-beating cuckold, because that's what he did. And then tried to say he was anti-Semite. He was calling me a Jew. No, he called you a cracker. He called you white. He didn't pick apart what type of white you were. He just said you white, but all of a sudden anti-Semite. But we ain't gonna get into that. We got Snoop selling out. And you know what's gonna be the hard part? I'm gonna let y'all know. This is where Mike is right likes to come in. The hard part is he's gonna backtrack or he's gonna go forward and try to act like whatever, and they're gonna accept him back.
Yep.
Niggas are gonna accept him back, and they're gonna smile and go, Uncle Snoop was crazy. What did Kendrick say? Oh, it must have been the edibles. No, nigga, it's Snoop. Snoop was trying to get with the money. Just like everybody that, and I hate to keep bringing this to the Kendrick versus Drake thing, but everybody they loved sucking on the teat of Drake because Drake led the money. Drake led the money, so they kept doing whatever it took. What? Drake, you gonna come through? Okay, no problem. You'll sleep with my girl, Drake? Oh, she wasn't loyal anyway. All right, cool, no problem. Because Drake was the money. Everybody been looking around, not knowing that the most famous person is the industry plant.
And people have been saying it for years.
Yes, and it's too late. And the only reason he got a chipped tooth is because a man who was straight culture slapped him in the face and was so powerful, everybody had to back down. But guess what? Kendrick's only gonna last for a while because they're gonna once Kendrick and UMG and them get cool. I mean, not Kendrick. Once Drake and UMG get that next contract done, they're gonna pump billions of dollars right back into him. There's gonna be old photos of him wearing a kufi with Public Enemy shirts on, and everyone's gonna act like he wasn't in blackface. Same shit with Snoop. They're gonna go back and you remember when Snoop was crip walking and doing this, and he's for the culture. No, the fuck he's not. He's for the next check. And I'm sorry. This is why I don't like to get in. I'm gonna shut up. I'm sorry, sir.
No,
it's fine. It's fine. The Drake slander was getting to me, man. It was getting to me.
Hey, we can have a whole show on that. I'll cut you apart on Drake.
You're not gonna get. Right?
All right. So, MD, what are your thoughts on lame duck number 67?
I don't know. Is there some background? It got real loud.
Trevor, mute yourself, Trevor.
That was Trevor. I didn't even know he was on here.
Me either. He behind the Snoop Dogg.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree. I agree with what Mike said, man, wholeheartedly. I actually didn't think. See, my whole thing with it is, and it clicked on for me when Mike started talking about it. You can't turn the TV on without seeing Snoop Dogg. That's a whole fact. He on every damn thing. On the damn T-Mobile commercial with Mahomes and the damn Olympics. Go to the store, you see the Snoopos, and I'm like, bro, like, come on.
The Snoop DeVille Cadillac.
Yeah, the cartoon show. I think it's called Dog World or whatever it's called. Bro.
On. You can't get like
you can't do it. And it's crazy to me. Bro, you've been in the game for a long time. To me, you ain't been relevant since Top Dog. I don't give a damn about you, me personally.
Oh, Trevor is dancing when you said that. You talk anything about No Limit, he in there with you.
That's just me personally, on a personal note. But
even before that, but that's a whole nother topic for another day.
You might be right, Ricardo. You might be right. But I would think because you've been in the game for so long, P gave you game on a lot of the business acumen, bro. You can make your money in other industries
Like, no problem. I'm not telling nobody it should be a certain point where you just don't make money. I'm not doing, I'm a capitalist. I'm not saying that. But to prostitute yourself in a way that you're doing, it's not a good look. It ain't a good look at all. You've become to America this figure which is I guess you would say distasteful in the eyes of what you once were. Now again, I ain't saying that you got to be a nigga your whole life, but at least uplift yourself from a social standpoint where you can still make your money and still hold to the quote unquote culture that you with. You going to the crypto ball and saying you cripping at the crypto ball, it ain't doing nothing for me. I guess it's clever. Hell, probably them damn white folks that hired you probably thought about that, and not you. If you want to keep it real, you know what I'm saying? It's a hell of a marketing scheme.
That was a group think.
Yeah, it's a hell of a marketing scheme. But in the aspect of how I view you as being, because that's what you are, the product. You're the product. The way that you spreading yourself so thin in the eyes of social media and entertainment at your age is not a good look. Because your capital should be to a point where you should be able to sit on your ass and make money. That's the whole point of capitalism. I don't need to see you, nigga. I don't. I'm glad that you were able to secure wealth for you and your family. I don't need to see you to do that. You shouldn't be on here talking about you charging $250 for a feature.
Facts.
I don't need you on no damn feature at all. So in the aspect of how we view it from a cultural standpoint, to me, it's saddening. It's just saddening. I'm not even taking away with it being Trump related or whatever. However your political viewpoints are, that's on you. It's in the way in which you do it, which is the most upsetting. You're hoeing yourself out for reasons that you shouldn't really have to do. What do I look like as Snoop Dogg taking $250 to go do a couple of tracks at a damn crypto ball? For what?
Insane.
For what? And what make it look worse is the things that you said in the past. I didn't make you say it. You said it. For what? Like, this is the stuff that we deal with when we face how we view this is why capitalism gets a bad light, because niggas do stuff like this when they have no reasons of doing it. You make more money sitting on your ass. And that's just a whole fact. So again, he ain't been relevant to me since 99. I don't give a damn about him. I don't want to see him on my damn TV. I don't want to see him at all.
Yeah.
But if the white folks want to keep putting, because that's who's doing it. This ain't no cultural issue. People want to make it a cultural issue because we identified a certain way with Snoop Dogg. It's really not a cultural issue. It's a exposure issue. And your exposure gives you put you in a certain light. Let's just say that, to make you look like a coon. Now, I don't like using that type of terminology, but hey, if the shoe fit, as they always say.
And that shit is tailored to fit.
House nigga.
You feel me? Hey, you know what this lets me know, gentlemen? Andre 3K got money.
Not the flute.
Because he play a damn flute and get a Grammy nomination.
You can't tell that
You're
nigga
not gonna
nothing.
do that to Outcast member Andre 3 Stacks. How dare you speak of a fellow Atlantean that way, MD? Have some respect.
Hey, he wanted the ghost, man. The nigga's crazy, but he wanted the ghost.
Exactly, and that means he got money because he don't coon for nothing. He don't even rap when he don't feel like it.
He put out a
he took that 10 million selling and went on about his business.
All right, so we do have Mr. Straight Talk in the building. What's going on, Trevor?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
We can hear you, but not as clearly as I heard MD said he wholeheartedly agrees with me. I'm just go ahead.
All right, so Let me just back up a little bit. I assure you I won't take up the time, but so as to the bishop that you played, when MD posted that video in the group earlier, the first thing I remarked, outside of her not supposed to be preaching in the first place, but besides that, the look on his face, you could tell he didn't give a shit what she was saying, and went in one ear, came out the other. Like she was talking to his soul, and the devil inside of him was just like, I'm not hearing this. So everything she said was right and exact. And I do appreciate the fact that she used that platform to say it, but it's literally going to fall on deaf ears. Secondly, the fella that was ran over by a bulldozer.
Yep.
Just the insanity in that. The homelessness in America is ridiculous. I saw a video today. Beautiful young lady, black girl with a son, vlogging about how she wakes up every morning in a Walmart parking lot, living out of her van. And the part of it that nobody ever talks about is that's the reality of a bunch of people in this country. So one of the richest countries in the world, I know it's not the richest, one of the richest countries in the world has a homelessness issue that's ridiculous. And I heard MD say that if they paid out a lawsuit that it would fix the problem, something to that effect. So that needs to be addressed, but they won't address it. Secondly, my main reason why I wanted to come up here was the HB, what was the HB1 visa thing?
Yep.
So the main thing that we should be asking the question is how come the education in this country isn't on par with the education everywhere else?
Yep.
Why is nobody addressing that?
That's a falsehood. That's a falsehood. I don't believe that. I believe. Let me say this. I'm gonna let you continue. That's a point that a lot of people make. I don't disagree with it. The education system in a lot of other countries is beyond better than the United States as it pertains to a certain group. Per capita, that particular education system that are in these other areas don't facilitate the children like the United States do. And that's an argument to be made. I'm not saying it's not. But even going back to like the India situation, that education system is for a select group of people, not everybody. It's better than the US by far, correct. But it's only obtained to a certain group of people. Same thing for China, so on and so forth. That's just a fact. Is it really the education system, or is it the facilitation of the education system? That's the question we got to answer.
All right, well, we could deal with that later. But my industry, our top tool makers are from India. They fly people. They go to India to bring people in from India to specifically do what we do. And I mean, and it's not even like a pay gap disparity. It's like they're paying them top dollar just because that's what they do. So I mean, it could lean to what you're saying. That's just what they're doing, in their countries. But I wouldn't just simply brush off per capita and blah blah blah. We know the education system in this country is terrible. We know that it's awful. These kids, first of all, go to school. They go to school too early. So they go to school at a time where their brain isn't even functioning to learn anything. They're literally going to school to be babysat. In China, they don't go to school until they're 7. They stay home with the grandparents and learn how to be a human being first. But that's me going off on something else. We'll deal with that later. September 1st, 2016. Anybody know what that date is? It's okay. You could Google it because I did too, just to make sure that I wasn't coming up here talking about anything that wasn't factual. September 1st, 2016 is the first time Colin Kaepernick took a knee in the NFL. You know what all the rappers and entertainers said when he did that? I stand with Cap. You remember that? They were making shirts. Oh, I stand with Cap. Oh, man, I stand with Cap. You know what those rappers and entertainers turned right back around and did? Performed at the goddamn Super Bowl. So when I see somebody like Snoop doing the video, everybody send me the video. Everybody send me the video. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't realize it was something he said years ago. I was thinking it was something he said recently because, you know, when I first saw it, they did a few minutes later. But then when I realized, I'm like, oh, no, this is something he said a while back ago. But it doesn't change the fact. Pardon me, Jada Parker's on the screen, so it's kind of distracting. But it doesn't excuse the fact he said it. And I just think about Cap. Everybody wanted to stand with Cap until the Super Bowl called and said, hey, Eminem's performing. Do you want to bring the Dog Pound on stage? You want to bring 50 Cent and G Unit on stage? You want to bring Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre on stage? Damn that y'all said y'all weren't going to watch the NFL no more, because that's what everybody was saying. Oh, we're not supporting the NFL no more. They do this, they do that. It's modern day slavery. We're not dealing with the. Hey, the bottom line is this. That Malcolm X video, I don't know if I sent you that, Venkat. I wanted to send you it because somebody sent it to me, and I was going to play it on Man Talk Monday, but I thought I sent it to you, so I'm hoping I'm the one who sent that to you.
No.
You shouldn't be looking at entertainers and stuff like that as your leaders in the first place. Y'all know how I feel about leadership as it is. You don't look to somebody who spend the majority of their career talking about slinging crack and robbing and shooting and all that, and then they're somehow this righteous leader that you're supposed to follow. They do what everybody else does and what all these entertainers ultimately do, and that's bend the knee to master. And that's where I'm gonna land right there. That's what it is. Everybody, they all do it. We won't do it because we're regular people. We don't, we just regular Joe Smo. We wake up and go to work and live this life. Nobody cares what's going on outside our family. But when you really got a name and stuff like that, you always bend the knee. They always do it. And that's why when I see people like Snoop Dogg, it is what it is with me. It don't get any emotion out of me, with the exception of just okay. That's all it gets out of me, because it's like, it doesn't surprise me. It does not surprise me. Nelly, these guys ain't been popping in forever. Like Nelly is only relevant now because he's smashing Ashanti. And if he wasn't married to Ashanti, nobody would give a damn. So doing
she's not
this,
even relevant.
Yeah, well, but still, when you see Ashanti, because everybody was like, "Oh, damn, Ashanti got thick" and stuff like that. That's all it was about. So it's like these guys are just they're getting that one last hurrah. And when I see that stuff, I just be like, it doesn't surprise me at all, because it doesn't surprise me, man. They all bend the knee to Whitey. They all do. They always do it. It never fails. But that's what I wanted to say. I'm done.
I do have one more thing I want to show here. Soulja Boy and Nelly, because they were also performing, and their rebuttal to the backlash they've been getting. Let me just
now Soulja Boy, I can understand. He need the money. I ain't got no problem with Soulja Boy.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Nelly do too. They all broke. They all broke.
Well, we'll get our thoughts on the other end on this video.
To say something about me performing at the crypto ball party.
Even though he first claimed that he was in Washington, D.C. this past weekend doing meetings to try to get this TikTok ban lifted, those pesky cameras on people's phones showed that Soulja Boy was actually in D.C. to perform as part of the crypto ball on Friday night that was thrown in honor of Trump's inauguration. And once the facade was up, Soulja Boy took to social media to defend his decision.
They paid me a bag. Obama ain't never put no money in my pocket. Kamala ain't never put no money in my pocket. Trump put money in my pocket.
I'm not really buying that the crypto ball, which is a digital currency, paid you in cash, but that's actually the most plausible part of Soulja Boy's rant.
Trump called my phone. It wasn't even a Trump event. Trump wasn't even there.
Those three sentences took us on such a journey Oh, where do I start? Okay, yeah, so Trump wasn't there. Yeah, he's correct. Yeah, this is not an official Trump event or associated with inauguration in any way. It's one of those like clinger on events, like it's thrown in honor of. They're just trying to, capitalize on the, free publicity, so to speak. So Trump did not put any money in your pocket. The organizers of the event, which were BTC Inc., which is Bitcoin, and Stand With Crypto, put money in your, well, I'll say they paid you. Well, I hope they paid you, Soldier Boy. Okay, now to that phone call.
Y'all want me to not answer the phone of the president? The president of the motherfucking United States?
Trump called you to ask you to perform at an event he's not attending, and it's not a Trump event, and it's not associated with the inauguration. Trump called you. Okay. Now, Soldier Boy also thinks that Kamala's in the room with him.
Kamala, you ain't even win, bitch.
She's not there.
Did Kamala call my phone? Did Obama call my motherfucking phone?
They don't want or need to talk to you.
Did any of you call my motherfucking?
I mean, I wouldn't want to call you either.
Trump wasn't even there. It wasn't even a Trump event. It was the crypto ball for crypto.
Yesterday, the Hollywood Fix managed to work their way through the crowds of people at the grand opening of Soldier Boy's new store.
Man, I got the bag, man. You know what I'm saying? It was a crypto ball. Trump called my phone. Act like I was at a Trump. Trump wasn't even there. You feel what I'm saying? Trump put money in my pocket. You know how the media like to spin their narrative.
I'm not spinning.
Man, I love my people.
8 days prior, he tweeted, "I don't trust these N-word or these bitches." In conclusion, go ahead and crank him if you want, but just don't trust Soldier Boy? No. Now, I will say he did make one valid point that, this wasn't actually, a Trump event or inauguration event, just an event with a bunch of wannabes. At the same time, Soldier Boy says he can be bought, and he was bought, and, well, I guess he believes he's bought. I don't know if he got paid or not. But I'm not calling his phone to find out. Are you?
I do what the I want to do, and I'll go again.
He's the president of the United States. He's not the candidate for the United States. He's the president. He won.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a dilemma for Nelly. He decided he wants to perform for the winner, so he'll be part of Donald Trump's inauguration ball tomorrow night.
It is an honor for me to perform for the president of the United States, regardless of who was in office. If President Biden would have asked me to perform, I would have performed. If Vice President Kamala Harris would have won and asked me to perform, I would have performed.
Nelly zoomed into Willie D Live to defend his decision, and I got to give it to him. At least he is, being vocal about it. I mean, Snoop Dogg and Rick Ross stayed real quiet with their performance last night, and Carrie Underwood only released a brief written statement last week about her performance of America the Beautiful tomorrow.
What I will say is that I respect the office. This isn't politics. The politics for me, it's over. He won. He's the president. He's the commander-in-chief of what I would like to say is the best country in the world.
And Nelly is ready to take on his fans who disagree with his decision.
I did not know you was riding with me because you thought I would ride for who you voted for. I didn't know that. I apologize. I apologize. I didn't know that I had to agree with your political choices, and I thought it was the things that you do, not the things that you say should be done.
Now, I'm not sure I ride with this analogy.
People act like the men and women of our military don't get a chance to vote. They get a chance to vote too. Sometimes they candidate don't win, but who's ever in office, if they push the button, they got to go. If these people can give their life for the office, Nelly can perform.
I'm not part of the U.S. military, and certainly I don't speak for them, but I would think that they are dying for their country and the ideals of that country and what they think America stands for, as opposed to, the Oval Office necessarily. And, I get the correlation. When the commander-in-chief calls them into action, they go. But I don't think their philosophy is, I'm dying for the president, dying. I think it's more, I'm dying for America.
I would ask them to show me where he's a white supremacist. And here's the thing. Okay, I get it. He did say, if you don't vote for me, you're not black, right? Oh, no, that wasn't him.
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
He did create the crime bill in the 90s.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
Okay. No, he didn't do that. Let me see. What did he do? I'm trying to think. The white supremacists. Hold on. I'm gonna get to it. okay, he did not rent to black people. What was it, in the 70s or the 80s?
That happened to be taking black jobs. You had the best.
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. That's what it is. Anybody that has a job.
All right.
Is that what they said? And like, oh, okay, is he written to him now? So nobody's allowed to change.
We've all seen the mugshot. And you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible.
Now, I'm not saying that he ain't got some f***ed up ways.
That's putting it lightly. And I mean, I do get his point of saying, he's celebrating the president, whoever that is. And I mean, it's his choice, and people are going to be mad about it, and people are going to boycott his music if they want to. I still think people will be streaming Ride With Me and Hot in Here and Tilt Your Head Back and Dilemma. And I have a feeling there's going to be way more consequential things that Trump does once he gets into office that people should maybe save their rage for. But no, I get people disagreeing with it. It's just, it's a performance. What are you going to do? What are your thoughts?
I've been getting back that whole career. That don't bother me.
All right, there we go.
I'm so done with Nelly, bro.
What's that?
I'm hurt. I'm mad that Trevor and MD said my point in the chat already. You didn't see no white people out there acting a fool. They put them niggas at the nigga party and had the white people at the real stuff. This is, oh my God.
That makes it worse. That makes it worse.
No, the only thing that makes this worse is that they're gonna accept them back. This is my big issue with MD. I wish that the way things were, that they would move the way MD says, because if things were right, today would be the last day Nelly would get a stream. Today would be the last day Snoop Dogg would get a stream from anyone in Black America. But niggas is too niggerish, they gonna go, oh, well, I gotta hear my EI. Nah, bro, I promise you, I will never ever play another Nelly song. I will never play another Snoop Dogg song. And it's not because of Trump. It's because of this. He literally spoke to us like we were idiots. That whole thing with him, and I'm mad at OG Willie D, who sat there and didn't say anything. This is, oh my bad, that was Biden, nigga. Word,
not a damn thing.
You feel me? That's what we got. You sound like a nigga just backpedaling and trying to find something to grip on. You said, bro, I'm so done. I'm done with all of. I ain't listened to Rose in a year. And just so Trevor know, I've only watched one football game since Kaepernick, and that was at his house. And that's because it was on the TV. We had nothing else to look at. It was on the TV for my MIR brother to watch his Steelers play the Ravens. I stopped watching the NFL. I see scores or I see the little things on YouTube. That's it. I'm done because I think the NFL is a slave plantation. I mean that. And I meant it when it happened. And I said I wouldn't watch another game on television until they let Kaepernick back in, and they ain't letting him back in, so I'm good. That's just personally how I feel about it. But I'm outraged. I promise you, all it's going to take is for Kendrick. If Kendrick ever goes to a Trump rally, I just quit hip hop. I'm gonna go ahead and listen to country. I'm gonna go ahead and switch entirely on the other side, because I don't know what hip hop is supposed to be for the people. For Black, I don't know what happened. I don't know what this is. This is capitalism, and this is why I don't like it. No offense, MD, but it's people do anything for money. And they never take the next step. That's my problem. People always take step one and they never take step two. When you hear MD talk about capitalism, it's to make money so you can sit down. That's capitalism. It's the entire sentence. You got to say, it's like a pimp named Slickback. You got to say the whole thing, right? You don't just make money because there's money to be made. You make money so you and your generations are set. That's the point. You don't just make money so you could blow it on weed and liquor and hoes, and then you're 50 years old still having to do the cooning dance. And that's what these niggas are doing. And then I would respect him more if he was like, hey man, I got a baby with Ashanti, I got a wife that look good and she gonna want a lot of money and she ain't trying to spend her money and she ain't selling no albums. I gotta do what I gotta do. I would have took that and said, hey bruh, you messed up because you're one of the few people. Your name is one of the three names that were brought up when they were talking about selling albums in a depressed state of hip hop. When nobody was making money, they said, who's making money? M, Pimp, Juice, and us. That's what they were saying. So you were making money. You have a diamond album under your discography. You should not be broke. You should not be broke. I've never seen either member of Outkast walking around looking broke. But I also don't see them niggas on TV trying to floss every day either. Maybe take this lesson. Maybe stop trying to be in the mix. Get your money and then go sit your ass down. But it's too late for that. I'm done with you. I'll never play. And EI is one of my favorite songs. I'll never play it again. You'll never get a stream. If I see a playlist with your name on it, I'm throwing it away. Matter of fact, I'm going to my favorites on YouTube and I'm erasing all the songs I got from you on there. I'm good on that. I'm good on you, Snoop, Rose, and Soldier Boy. You should have just laid down and let that crack take you a long time ago. But apparently you just gonna keep fighting like a walker on the Walking Dead and just keep trying to survive. It's amazing to me that he looks older than all of us and he's gotta be in his early 30s. I don't understand that. Drugs are bad, okay. Simple and plain. I'ma stop going. I'm sorry, because I'll go all day how pissed I am about these people. And I'm done with Tip Drill too. So I'ma shut up. Thank you for allowing me on the show, Vancat. I don't like to see y'all at twos.
That was
Yeah.
spot on with Soldier Boy. That is so true.
That nigga look cracked out. He look like he got that new crack. He got designer crack. Like he got his crack straight from the Givenchy store. Like I don't know where he got his crack from. His crack got names on it. It's different. But I'm good on that. Y'all have a good one. Thank you for letting me on the show. You know, I'm the unofficial fourth member. I like to sit in the background and make sure there's at least a triumvirate going on. My brother fell off today, but I had to hop on to keep my twin going, and now he's back. Much love to y'all. Tuesday MD is still my favorite. He is that dude, Venkat Extraordinaire. You gotta get the rainbows out you, bro. I don't know. All this happiness is making my stomach hurt. And twin, you know what it is. I'm gonna walk away. Please keep going, gentlemen. I'm out.
All right, thanks, Mike. Ricardo, what do you think here about this whole situation? And another question I'd like to pose to you and MD is there such a thing, even with the coonery behavior that we have seen with these guys, to be able to separate the art from the artists and still listen to their music without any, because Mike already made his decision. Do you guys think that's possible?
Well, you can. I mean, if you're a very objective person, you should be able to separate the art from the craft. It's tough. You have to apply that to modern everyday life as well. I mean, can you turn off the art of seeing, after watching a dirty flick of a one of them, girls saying, "Oh, I'm sure she's like a Bible study girl that's gonna." It's like no, you have to learn to separate art from the craft. It's tough, but you're supposed to. It's like you thinking that every star is the same. Kind of like how, and I'm not sure where, of how Tupac played that role in that movie Juice. That's not how Tupac really was in real life, but he still rolled with the character years after as a manifest to his, so again, learning to separate the craft from the actual regular person is tough, because you kind of like, you see them exemplified in such a way. Nah, there's no way that person could be different in real world. Yes, they are. They're completely opposite. But I digress. But yes, you have to learn to separate the craft from the actual artist sometimes. But we can't, because again, Venkat, we're very fickle-minded people. I mean, this is a celebrity-cultured country. Everything is about the absurdity of celebrity and sense of fame and who's doing what, and then the next 2 days we forget about it, and the most important subject matters is always pushed to the side. It's like it's a never-ending story. It's a circus in a sense, but people always need a distraction because they can't face the hard reality of certain things. So we need something to like move ourselves forward from a very discerning, sad, and you know what I mean? Like because you saw how it went after 9/11. Nobody could do anything comedic because it was like, oh my God, it's like if I say something, they everybody's gonna freak out. No, they didn't start laughing again. It was dramatic and drawn out and depressed. Again, it's if this country is just really built on, but we started over the years into celebrity nonsense and fickle-mindedness and start blowing up people like the Kardashians who did sex tapes and Pamela Anderson Lee and all these people. And it's just like it's never ending. You never stop seeing people being celebrities. And again, what Trevor said is true. You can't be looking at these rappers as like people who are leaders. It just doesn't make sense. These are people that talk about gunslinging and screwing hoes and drinking, and it like you never hear them talk about I went to Africa and build a good old fashioned fountain for water for refugees, and you never hear it's tough to think about, but they're really not leaders. They're just regular people who want money and should make fast money and invest it in the same bullcrap how many years later, like Snoop, who, lest we forget, white people vilified and literally pitchforked and did the most and said, send him to prison if y'all forgot in the 90s. And then look where we're now. Like, it's the same white folks that are jumping up and playing his music and saying he's vintage. Like, this is the absurd. But I digress. We stop babbling because we're going on. But no, sure, country. It's never going to.
All right, thanks, Ricardo. MD, any thought on that as far as can you separate the art from the artist?
Yeah, of course you can. It really shouldn't be hard not to do. All you got to do as an artist is shut the hell up and just go out, perform, and make your money. You didn't have to say anything, Snoop. You shouldn't have said anything because you're not politically astute enough to have a position. I know that based off the shit that you say. Nelly just proved it on the Willie D show. He could spout stuff that's common knowledge, but you babble and stumble and fumble along the way. You was nigga babbling. Soulja Boy clearly don't know what the hell he talking about, and he shouldn't know what the hell he talking. He just a nigga that went out and performed and got paid to do it. So a dumb man's truth is usually a focal point of the nation, is what they say. So Soulja Boy was 100% spot on what he said. He didn't get an invite from Obama or Biden or no time. Trump gave him the invite or the crypto people, and he went for it. I don't blame him. But to put emphasis on Trump not being there and try to make that a narrative in damage control is stupid. Again, we talked about it at the beginning of the show. What did Trump do right after that ball ended? He launched Trump Coin. It was a big ass marketing ploy. Using niggas to do a jig on the stage. And then, hey, after this ball with these niggas performing, I'm now announcing Trump Coin. And millionaires were made in that very same room. Actual crypto enthusiasts that know what they're doing to exploit a Ponzi scheme that I call it, which is crypto. Millionaires were made in that building that night. But Snoop and all them probably got 250 max. I don't know if they got any play on the crypto. Probably not, if I had to guess. So what's $250,000 to what was it reported, Venkat? 80. I think Trump's net worth went up to 80 something billion after that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what's $250? That's cigarette money.
Yep.
So this is the stuff that we got to look at when we talk about what the bigger issue is. Niggas tap dancing on stage is just that. Niggas tap dancing on stage. Why am I putting any type of political impact on these people in the first place? I'm not saying that they don't have the ability to speak on politics. Of course they do. We Americans, we all got that ability. But what takes emphasis? That or the check that they got at the end of the night. I wouldn't have had no issue with Snoop, no issue with Nelly, no issue with Soldier Boy. Rick Ross, notice Rick Ross ain't said a damn thing.
Not at all. You hear a peep. You didn't hear a peep from him.
Yeah, what I need to say something for? I got my check. So again, this is what we talk. So, you know, to answer your question, yes, of course. I shouldn't, because first of all, I shouldn't be looking at these celebrities as political figures anyway. And I shouldn't even be caring about they political ideology. I can say it's stupid, but I can leave it there on the table and I can cut a jig with you if it's a song I like. That's just what it is. But because people like to play the collective game, just like Snoop did 4 years ago, or well, actually 8 years ago, talking about you gonna get on people that perform at the inauguration and call them jigaboos and all that. Why are you collectively shaming me when me and you are not the same person? Show us shit not the same person economics wise. So what are we talking about? You done got down on your luck in that amount of time? I'm pretty sure that you haven't. Because like I said, I can't keep you off my TV. So what are we talking about here?
That album flop, missionary flop, man. It's a horrible album, man.
I ain't even never heard of that. That lets you know that lets you know how much I give a damn about Snoop Dogg.
I was so pissed. The album is not good.
So yeah, there you have it.
All right. Well, thank you, MD. So I think about time. It's time to close the curtain on this show. But before we do that, let's go ahead and give our final sign off. So, Ricardo, final sign off, sir.
Sir, all in all, great to be back. It's 2025. We look to a whole bunch of politics, ducks, and buffoonery, and a bunch of Let's just hope for the best, because again, one can only. It's one of those twin turtles, it's a feeble dream, but we have so much to look forward to this year. But I'll hold my breath because we all know what we're up against. I will say this: I'm very interested to see where this whole thing, this friendship between Trump and Musk is going to go. I feel like Musk is going to drive Trump nuts at some point, and I'm here for it. I feel like he's going to overstep his bounds, and Trump is going to have to find some way to get rid of him. And I would love to see how he's going to do that, seeing that he's going to try to be close to Trump. I don't know where, what capacity, but, we've seen stranger things in the White House, including the whole, and we'll get into that on other topic at some other point. But JD Vance, step up your game, because I have yet to see what you're doing, really. The rest of you coons, and we haven't been able to touch on that one video that we saw that MD posted about this damn dude talking daddy's back. Y'all need to stop. It's one thing to be the coon and the house Negroes and all of them, that's buffoonery crap, but you saying daddy's back to that is very unacceptable, sir. And
Byron,
yeah,
that's lame duck level stuff there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that, because I don't know what the hell that. But no, sir, no, that ain't it. But all in all, looking forward to the next few shows coming up, and Cat is not. Trump is saying Americans need to get prepared, because if he's going through with attack, the thing of the show is, well, do understand that everything is going to go up, and it's not going to be pretty for everybody here. And that because that's another TFP another day. Great to be back. See y'all next.
All right. Thanks, Ricardo. MD, final sign off, sir.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, we officially in the age of hell in the handbasket, and it's gonna be It's gonna be a hell of a ride, man. We gonna see what this first year looks like. I'm glad TFP is back. It ain't Tuesdays without TFP, folks. It just ain't. So I'll be on the lookout every week, every Tuesday, for more lame ducks and some poignant topics. Just in the last 30 minutes, I just saw it came up in my notification. Trump did pardon Ross Ulbricht. He pardoned him. A person that literally was selling human organs and body parts on the dark web.
Wow.
This is the type of shit that we living in right now, folks. So, hey.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Yeah, this is stuff that we're dealing with, folks. And I don't know what else to say. This is only day 2. I don't know what else to say.
Day 2, my God. All right. So just want to remind everybody, tomorrow on the Straight Talk with Trevor channel on YouTube, we have WWR, Wrestling with Reality. We'll be here at 6:30. And it'll be me, MD20, Trevor, and we're going to go over another trash bag human, one of the most prominent trash bag humans, Hulk Hogan. And we're going to cover his tumultuous times in the last few years with his lies, deceptions, and everything that makes him a trash bag human. So watch that tomorrow on this channel on YouTube. And it's going to be Wrestling with Reality, WWR. And we'll be here at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Check it out. As far as like everything that's going on this year, and the year, I mean, this is day 21 of the year, but the year just started off with New Year's, with people getting shot up, people getting hit with a car, and then the guy shooting people at the same time, and you got a guy
Hell in
using
the handbasket.
a Tesla automobile and parking it next to Trump's building and blowing up the car and
Just
killing
think
them.
about this, Venkat. Just think about this.
Yep.
This how you know it's hell in the handbasket. Up is down, left is right. Right now in New Orleans, Mobile, Alabama, Panama City Beach, it's over a half a foot of snow on the ground.
Yep.
Somebody is trying to tell us something.
Yeah.
Hell has literally frozen over. I never in my life have I seen these types of events.
It's
the whole of LA on fire.
Exactly, burning at the same time. Golly. I don't know, man. This is strange. It's strange times. Very strange. Oh boy. All I can say is hold on to your ass. We try to survive through this. And yeah, we'll be back next week. Same time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back with the world's most dangerous political panel. And any shout out to Tequila, as always. Shout out to Bones, Zay. Shout out, of course, to Mike, Mr. Straight Talk, everyone else affiliated with Straight Talk, Wayne, and Kev. We'll see you guys next week. Until then, we'll try to stay safe. Try to do something because it's going to be a bumpy year and a bumpy 4 years. That's for sure. All right, peace, everybody. Good night.
She just said a terrible thing. You know what she said? Shout it out, because I don't want to. Okay, you're not allowed to say, and I never expect to hear that from you again. She said, I never expect to hear that from you again. She said he's. That's Tariff. Tariff.